Okay, folks, here we go.
Here we go. Let's have a good show.
1B, stand by.
Yeah.
Yacht, stand.
Yeah, just go right now. Go to camera 3. 3, go to the gate. Perfect, just like that.
I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, graphics 2 is going to be up for the first. Okay. Go
Go
right now. Go to camera 3. Go, yep. Go to the gate. Perfect, just like that. No music.
I'm going to hand to Q, Sophie.
Wait for it.
On radio in the Canal Zone.
All right, guys, mic check.
Go ready.
Okay, Ricky, mic.
Yep, I am ready.
Wait for it. 2.5.
Willie, mic check.
Yep, let's go.
1B, stand. 1B, stand.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Okay, and go.
All right, takes us back to our Panama days indeed. Every Friday night, that's what we do, guys. We go back to our Panama days. Happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and of course, 7 p.m. Canal Zone time. You know, first of all, guys, don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. But Ricky, happy Friday to you, man.
You know, Willie, God, you fixed that little thing, man.
did.
That was a smooth entry, man. So, guys, get ready for an incredible show tonight. It's our trivia night. You know, we have a lot of fun with this. But anyways, everybody, welcome to the happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. This is a production of SCN Canal Zone. Guys, we're so happy to be here once again like we are every Friday. We are a podcast dedicated to the Panama Canal, to its people, to its history, to its architecture, to its construction, the Zonian community. This is the place you come to hear and learn all you can about the Panama Canal and the Zonians, which are the former residents of that famous canal zone in Panama.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much again from the bottom of our hearts. Willie and I are going to give you guys a very entertaining show tonight. Please grab your glasses, vases, cups, whatever it is. Let's celebrate. Chalice. Let's celebrate this eighth wonder of the world. Salute.
Yeah, salute to everybody. You're absolutely right, man. And you know what? It's that fifth Friday of the month, which actually worked well, considering that we skipped a show during the reunion, right? So we had that one break. So we still ended up getting our 4 shows for the month. And this one, it's a trivia. We haven't done trivia in a couple of months, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, there's a 4-pack of Howler Monkey Sauce on the line for the winner of that. So it's going to be all about what we've covered over the last few months, right? There's been some cool architecture, some cool excavations, some cool Canal Zone history, you know, even maybe some reunion stuff in there. So, but that should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's a cool part of the show. It's a lot, you know, there's a lot of, you know, our show, we do it, it's live, and a lot of people don't tune in live, but they'll tune in afterwards, right? And so we see a lot of people tune in Saturday and Sunday, for example, and watch it, you know. And so unfortunately for you guys, you know, we're gonna have to maybe do some kind of a write-in type of way of participating for those that aren't live, maybe like a weekly thing, you know, and throw a good comment or something, and we'll kind of vote on the comment of the week or something. And you know, because it is true, a lot of people aren't able to watch it live, but they still, you know, we still get a lot of feedback from them saying, hey, man,
Willie, you know, week after week, hey, right on. Thank you so much. And by the way, that's how we get these presents and these awards and these gifts for the winners.
I appreciate it.
Beast, and now I lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you're 62.
Yeah. No, no feedback from the folks. That's what we were talking about. But
well,
if not, anyway,
long gone, man.
I can chime in real quick then and say that, you know, one of the other cool things that we started doing last week, and we'll do it today because we have some great answers, is our Canal Zone mailbag.
Oh, I love that new segment. Okay,
Yeah,
Willie, it came back. Speaking
go.
of people watching the show, Willie, for the last like 6-7 weeks, it's been over 70 people that watch us live.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So right now, everybody's watching,
see you,
especially
man.
all my Californian friends that are watching us. You know, Willie, there's about 10 people in California that watch
Right
us.
on. Yeah.
And I'm loving it. Thank you so much, everybody out there.
And you know what? It is happy
Canal
hour
Zone
in
interesting.
California right now, so that's a great time.
Yeah. It's a good time to be together with us and have a drink. Which, by the way, tonight we're doing beer, Northern California beer. By the way,
Okay, right on, right on. Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh,
man.
thank you so much, guys. Right on, man. Right on. Cerveza Panama. Right on. Well, it's just gonna
We'll
make the
drink to
show
that, man.
better, guys. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And by the way, we got our Howler Monkey commercials. Very
Yeah, we're gonna-
successful, man. We're getting a lot of feedback on those as well, Willie.
I had someone actually reach out to me that saw that. That's not even a Zonian, but saw that on Instagram.
Yes.
And said, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you about doing some work for our son." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'd love to do that." So that's really cool.
Yeah, well, good
Answer
job,
it.
and your guys' money goes a long way, and all our efforts are in there to make sure that happens. John McGee, good to see you, Mr. McGee.
Yeah, he sent me some drone shots the other day. You know, the house he's building out in Coronado looks awesome.
Oh,
man.
right
So,
on.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at the plans. Come on.
Yeah, I got
What's going on
listen. You got an architect here that and if you're a member of the show, you get a discount coupon.
Yeah,
on
you get
the
a discount.
architect,
Oh, you get at least a free review of what your designer did.
Sure, and
Let me beat him up a little bit.
Right, exactly. And if some palanca needs to be pulled, well, there's,
Yeah. Speaking of
there's
that,
a program for that too.
yeah, there's a program for that too. I got a good friend that's looking for a surveyor in Panama, and she has had like bad luck with surveyors. So if anybody down there that knows a good surveyor, please give it on the comments.
Done right now. He's got all.
Yeah,
his-
Jennifer. I think Jennifer's probably on the show. If she's not, she'll watch it on the weekends. And by the way, we got a little bit of updates from Jennifer. She helped out a lot with this show tonight.
No, cool.
That's
right on.
Jennifer Hayward,
Vern,
class
what
of
up, dude?
81. Hey, Mr. Vern, what's going on here? Speaking of class of 81, well, let me show you what I got today. One of these scoochie, huevazon thing. I hate that word, by the way. I don't know why I hate it so much. But class of 81, thank you so much for sending that to me. I appreciate that. We had our 45th reunion at the Canal Zone reunion this last July. I mean, a couple of weeks back. But Willie, the reason I'm bringing it up is check out the back of it.
Yeah. Oh, the B badge. Look
The
at
B
you.
badge.
Oh,
Yeah. So class of 81, we all had our B badge to go to the pool party.
I think that's as far as I got was the B badge. I was like, if I got enough to get in the pool, I'm good. So
Yeah,
I didn't.
I
get
think
the
all of us
I.
only
What
went B.
was it? It was B. Then they had. What was it? A, B. Then
Oh, because you had to go
advanced
underwater or something. You had to hold your
Yes,
breath for
and
like
then you had, I
5
think it
minutes
was
or something.
I,
Yeah.
intermediate, and then I think that's what it was. So what were the badges that we had? Because like I said,
I
only
just
got the
remember
B
B,
badge.
man. That's all I
And
remember.
as
That's all
long
we
as I had enough to
needed.
get in the pool.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was it.
That's
You're
all.
good
You got to
go.
get in that pool Wednesday night. If you guys remember Wednesday night at the pool, you guys are pretty tough
right.
because if you survive that, you are tough.
Yeah. It was, mayhem or something.
Handball,
of
smear the
sort.
queer. Oh my
Yeah,
God! Then
that was
French fries
great.
with gravy afterwards. Oh yeah, Willie, let's get going, man. Sorry, we do this all the time.
Well, we
I
are
love you
listening.
for it,
It's
man. We're
great,
so-
man. Okay, so
I
there it is.
know,
Here we
I
go.
love the banter, man. We're
It's
so
Kieran
good
will
at
be able
it.
to come to the rescue here.
Hey, right on, yeah.
B-A-B-I-S and A-S. So it's beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, swimmer, and then advanced swimmer, I would assume, is probably what those are.
Swimmer. I would. Yeah. What else would
Well,
it
what
be?
else would you have on an S?
You get shark.
They get, they get Tiburon. Okay, so right on. Thank
Oh,
you,
right
Tony.
on. Yeah. Oh man, nothing like those. Canal Zone banter is the best, man. It really is. It's so much fun because the memories are so fresh in our minds.
That's
You
what's
know,
so
and
fun
then
about
when
the
you hear a
reunion,
name
man.
or anything pops up, boom, the whole thing just comes right back clear.
Yeah.
You know, so right on.
No, it really is, man. It's that's what makes the reunion so much fun is the I mean it's everything about those reunions. Do you remember this? Do you remember that? Hey, do you remember when we went and half the time you're either trying to think about it because you're like, no, I really don't, or you're like, oh my God, and I can't believe I didn't remember that. But yes, and then all of a sudden something
Something will
somebody
snap.
says and just bam, there it is.
It's
and
a
you're-
word that always does it.
Yeah.
Barnaby's treat or
Yeah.
or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
Bueno. Yeah, right on, man. Let's go.
It's cool.
I'm
So
already
anyway,
super excited.
yeah, no, absolutely. Well, let's get on to some quick announcements and stuff, and then move on. Because we've got our trivia
little
coming
video.
up. But Ricky's got some cool stuff there and stuff.
Boching got some good bushing. Let's get that
Yeah,
awesome
so-
video of ours.
SCN Television presents K Pasa. And now here's this evening's host, Army Sergeant Bob Foster.
Good evening and welcome to K Plaza. We've got two guests tonight. First Sergeant First Class Jim Webb. Sergeant Webb with the 227th Military Police Detachment. He's the kennel master.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
That's our K-Pasa sponsored by Canal Zone Documentary Substack. Make sure you join these guys. It's canalzonedocumentary.substack.com. Interesting post they put out a couple days ago, just another Tuesday in the tropics, and it showed a gate courtesy of David Wheeler of Corey Heights, you know, coincidentally, we're going to mention a little bit about Corey Heights tonight briefly in our Canal Zone mailbag, answering one of the questions from last week. But it's an interesting article about Corey Heights. And, of course, Thane Wheeler, the producer of the Canal Zone documentary, you know, lived in Corey Heights. So he certainly probably, you know, ran around those areas and was probably quite familiar with that whole area there. But there's some really interesting stories in there, you know, that people are starting to comment on regarding their adventures, either living in Corey Heights or visiting. I knew Corey Heights, you know, because of the movie theater there. They always had the bats.
Yeah, and the Officers Club. A lot of parties there.
And the Corey Heights, I don't even remember the Corey Heights Officers Club. You know, the ones that we frequented were Amador, Albrook. Was pretty much the two that we mostly went to. Anyhow, so get involved, guys. The Substack, canalzonedocumentary.substack.com, and check these guys out, because, you know, remember, guys, we have an amazing story as Zonians, and part of what really makes the story incredible is the experiences that we had, right? Everybody has seen or read, you know, the books, The Path Between the Seas. They've seen, you know, a lot of these documentaries and everything else. But, you know, when you truly get to the essence of what the Canal Zone was and what it stood for and who the people were there, that's a story that, unfortunately, when we go, the story goes, right? And so, you know, things like what we do here on the show, and, you know, like we have 3 hours of Al Sprague telling us about Al Sprague growing up and doing the same things we were doing, which half of them were no good, you know, but that was the essence of being a Zonian and growing up and running around in this great place, and that's what Thane Wheeler's doing with this Canal Zone documentary. So, you know, get involved, and one way to get involved and stay connected with what the different topics are that you can share your experiences on is through that Substack, because you can get in there and share it. It's like a newsletter on a lot of different topics there. So definitely check it out, man.
That's well said, Willie, because that leads in right into what Alex Reyes is doing, and that whole committee of people he has working with him. Is doing with that reunion in Panama in January, which is what we're going to be promoting next, obviously, is just that reunion is all about those experiences, reliving those experiences, whether it was the train ride or the boat ride or the you know, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different experiences that they had. But one of the new experiences that I saw Alex post recently on Instagram was the fishing tournament. It's now going to be called the Al Sprague Fishing Tournament. And I can see that being a huge Tivoli-size hotel event.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because he was known to be a fisherman. You know who else? Willie? Mr. Coffee. I don't know if you knew the Coffee.
Yeah.
But that man always was same thing. A diver, a fisher, you know, Mr. All Around. Zonian, right, and that's an old Zonian family, by the way, the Coffees. Yes,
indeed. Yeah. No, that's really great news, because it's a great tribute to Al, and you know, not that his art wasn't incredible, because it really tells the story of the Canal Zone in Panama, you know, for both Panamanians and Americans, but he had a legacy of an amazing life in the Canal Zone where I mean, he grew up down in the Canal Zone and had just amazing stories of the things that he did there, and you know, to go on and become such a successful teacher first and foremost, and then an artist.
That's correct. He was an art teacher. I mean, how lucky we were.
Yeah, exactly.
And his wife too was an art teacher, Mrs. Sprague.
Yes, exactly, man. So, you know, it was really fortunate of us to be able to then have the opportunity to talk to him and have him on the show. And like I said, he was on for 3 hours, man. If you want to catch up on a fun show that'll take you back to the zone, you know, watch that show.
Yeah, Willie, I got something I just remember from him talking.
Right.
One of the skits you see now all the time is when somebody is next to a coffin and the coffin pops up and the person pops on. That's like really popular now all over social media, right?
Right.
Who did that back in 1955? Nobody other than our man Al
Sprague.
And
it wasn't staged either.
Those guys, what do you mean stage? No, that was well planned. They knew what they were doing, man.
Yeah.
And they scared the living daylights out of those people.
Yes,
The
they
bus
sure
driver jumped out while the bus was still
Yeah,
moving.
no kidding. Yeah, no, that was.
Canal Zone reunion, yes, 1927. So it's
Yeah,
like-
that's their new logo. The dates are the 17th through the 24th of January, 2027. This is, although it's considered kind of that downtime as we've spoken about before, they get you right in between the holiday travel and then the
Carnivals.
carnival, travel season. There's a bit of a lull there, and so they take
Tickets
advantage
are
of that
cheap,
gap
yeah.
for cheaper tickets, but they fill up because there's people. This thing is starting to fill up, especially the class reunions. You get a lot of people going together for these class reunions. 87, 82 are some big classes that are planning some big things there. So get your stuff booked early. Stay tuned. There are Canals on Reunion on the on Facebook. Just look them up. It's easy to find out. If not, just find Alex Reyes on Facebook, and he'll certainly have links on his profile for it as well. And we'll of course throw it on here. I think we have the.
we might have it. No, we do have it on banners. I'll get to that.
Yeah, it's right here. I've got it scrolling on the bottom right. Canals on Reunion. They have a website as well. You should be able to click a link there for a form, fill it out, because then they'll put you on an email list. And as soon as they open up something, some of these events sell out quick, guys.
Quick,
okay?
yeah, especially
They're
the
very
boat
much in
rides.
demand. Yes, the boat rides
And the
especially.
train rides, those things go quick.
Big, and they're and both of them are absolute hits. And so there's no surprise that they sell out fast. So the moment you get that email, respond, book, and pay for your stuff and get it booked, because you're going to get down there and it's come on, help us Zonian out.
Yeah. And the Chiva Paranderos, good thing is they never sell out because there's so many Chiva Paranderos down there.
Yeah, that's become
They
quite
can just
popular.
keep filling them up. And I've heard they just like keep adding and adding because so many people want to do that.
Sure,
Cruise
makes
around the
sense.
Canal Zone
Yeah, no,
with the
absolutely.
cocktail and see the spots.
Hey, Sheila, good to see you. Happy Friday to you. And Chris
Hi, Sheila.
Jeffries is in sunny LA. Chris, I got to chat with you.
Oh, right
That's
on, Chris, in California.
project that I'm working on that I'm gonna see if you might be interested in. But anyhow, enjoy your stay there in sunny California. And man, Corey Heights Oak Club was awesome. Saturday night pasta nights. Okay, right on. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't frequent Corey Heights hardly at all. It was on occasion to watch a movie. And that was really my extent of Corey Heights. I really don't know it that well.
Yeah, class of 81, class of 82. We had a lot of events up in there.
I mean, we would drive close to the gate and go to the Laverty's house, sometimes, but it was right before the gate, but that was it. That's as far as we got.
And those guys were pretty cool. You could easily get into Corey Heights.
Yeah. Corey Heights was like Amador. It was one of those open bases in a lot of ways.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. It was never difficult to get in there.
Yeah, hit me up tomorrow. Yeah, I definitely will, man.
Did you catch Noriel's Instagram? You know how he keeps promoting the railroad, right? Make sure it doesn't get demolished. And by the way, so is Shorty and Slim. But you know what he did? He did actually La Prensa did it, but he was promoting it because of his promotion. La Prensa, Willie, that's the big newspaper.
Yes, it
did
is.
a thing on the kiosk of that train station, the Ohlers.
Oh,
And it was well done. It was, going
He
back,
did a fantastic job.
and they spoke of how all the Canal Zone kids went there, and we have spoken about that here on the show. So right on, Noriel. Thank you so much for that you keep promoting that and keep promoting the Canal Zone experience, man.
It
So
is,
right
man.
on.
Absolutely. That deserves an applause, man.
Yes, and remember, Shorty and Slim will be playing there. I think it's not next weekend.
16th, isn't it? I thought they said the 16th of August or something like that, or
2 more weekends then, yeah.
Yeah, so
Not
if
this
somebody
weekend,
knows
but
if
2
it's
more.
a different date, but they're going to have a big concert with several groups there, and get a big crowd out there and give this thing the recognition it deserves, because it
This
really
is the last chance.
outside of the whole Zonian legacy and all that stuff. If you take the whole Canal Zone component out of the way, this is the first Atlantic to Pacific railroad in the world. Right, this one was there before the railroad was completed in the United States. Okay, it beat it by 12 years. So this was the first. So it has something that really is something that Panama can honestly say this is ours, because
It was before the canal, right?
it was before the.
But it was still Gringo, though. It was still Gringo. The Panama Railroad was Gringo.
But listen, there's because the project is built by a different country. It's the expertise. It's like hiring a company, but it's still.
I get
done
it. I
in
get it,
Panama.
Willie. You're
The
right.
Panama
First-
Railroad was the first one.
First
And they should honor
intercontinental.
it. They should
No,
absolutely.
you're right. You're
honor
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And missing the boat on this one could be, come back later and hit.
Yeah,
Bite a word.
and then Captain Eftimitis raises a great point here that that CZR, it's a great reunion. All the things we mentioned, all the great experiences, all the fun and everything. A lot of people that have gone recently have said, this is the first time I've been back to the zone since I left in 78, 79 or whatever. But the one thing to always keep in mind with the Canal Zone reunion, that they do a lot for charity. They have
like select 3
charity drive and big charity drives that they do for these guys. So you're getting to do something that's near and dear to your heart, and at the same time you're giving something back to that great country that provided that for you, man. So great
karma,
mention
man.
there, Andrew.
Great karma.
That's really
Zonian
absolutely
karma.
spot on, man.
I agree.
Mark, good to see you, brother. Hey,
Mark,
you guys, happy Friday.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for always being with us, Mark. Mark's been with us from the beginning, man. I love all you guys.
Man.
Right on, man. This is
Mark's
really your show.
Zonian.
This is your. It's everybody's. This is what
This
is what everybody knows your name. This is a Zonian hangout, happy hour.
It's just a lot of
Willie,
fun,
I don't know what
man.
happened to my throat, but I'm gonna have to drink all night.
I know. Wow, what a shame. What a shame for a Zonian to say that like it's a bad thing, You get a B badge for that, man, a beer badge.
Yeah. I brought my B badge.
We basically lived in those real. Yeah, see, that was the thing, man. As a kid, you weren't lacking for activities, whether they're organized or not, man. And those pools. And let me tell you what, man. I was thinking about this the other day for whatever reason, but I remember always getting out of the pool and going in those showers, man, and turning that hot water. And dude, I'd sit there for 20 minutes, man, just for that jet of hot water, man. That was great.
I remember those lockers too.
Yeah, man, that was good time. And wouldn't they close it when they had like thunderstorms, and we'd all just hang out outside on that rail. They had that railing there, and just waiting. And there's Vince in there.
We should do a segment on the pool, Willie, man. We really should put that on the list.
We do, and we need to talk to Alex, and he can get us Vince's
all
contact.
The pools, because there's a lot of cool pools. Los Rios had a cool pool. Gamboa had a cool pool.
Yeah, even the Atlantic side, I'm sure they had a good pool.
I'm sure they did. Albrook had that Olympic size one.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, with a big giant diving board and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that because you see it clearly from the football fields and everything. That's right, man. That was cool. Yeah, we should do that. See if we can get Vince on. Because he was
yeah, that'd be great.
We got to talk to Alex about it because he had him at the reunion.
Yeah. They even have a song for him.
Yes, he did. Yep. Yeah, so cool.
Well, guys, if a little bit more announcement news, butching. We do kind of combine this plus banter plus comments. This is my favorite segment of the show, right? And
you made that very clear last week. Let me tell you,
the museums are a big thing in Panama, Willie. Yeah. We know of the Canal Museum. By the way, speaking of the Canal Museum, Jennifer Hayward, class of 81, but her married last name is Dahl.
Okay.
And she's also, by the way, looking for a surveyor. She was just recently at the Canal Museum there in Casco Viejo. And one of the things she noticed was a Zonian was front and center in one of the displays there. This guy named Alfred E. Osborne. And you know how Canal Zone documentary just posted on the La Boca School and the teachers at the La Boca from the West Indies, etc.
Right.
Well, there's a reason, because of the Canal Museum is doing a thing on this distinguished graduate from Paraíso. He went through the Paraíso schools and then went to school in the States, got his master's degrees, came back, and I forget the year it was exactly, but he became the director of the La Boca School. And he came. So back then, like you'll see in the Canal Zone documentary, there was a lot of people from all different islands. So the schools were based to educate them on that history, that life.
Right, that culture.
And that's the culture that they would. So they would have to bring teachers in from there to teach them.
Okay.
So when Mr. Osborne came educated from the Paraíso school system, his main thing was to train as many teachers as he could, so that the Canal Zone government wouldn't have to bring people in. Now you're going to be taught by people from the La Boca area. They call silver roll by silver roll towns, right? So one of the things that that in itself is great, but one of the super great thing this man did was he was very instrumental, Willie, with getting the Canal Zone government to do some educational reform.
Right.
And part of that reform was to turn Paraíso into the stronghold amongst the West Indian intellectual elite schools.
Okay.
So Paraíso, those schools were very elite.
Almost like, I guess, what they have here in Florida. I don't know if it's in the rest of the country, but they have what's called magnet schools, and they have higher education classes and stuff. You know, some advanced classes they offer and things of that nature. So I imagine it probably was something similar to that. You know,
and the Canal Zone government makes sure that their teachers, their curriculum, everything was at the elite level. And you know what? My mom was a teacher. That's where my mom started teaching. Was in Paraíso.
Wow, right on.
Yeah. So. That was a great story from the Panama Canal Museum. You guys, if you're there, check it out.
Yeah.
His son Miguel was a Balboa High School graduate, 66.
Okay.
So back then. So yeah, go check that out, guys. And if you're into history and stuff like that about Panama, here on the show when we did the Tivoli segment, we talked about how Panama went from Casco Viejo, Santa Ana, and moved his way around. And before he got to Paitilla, because we were talking about the Union Club, before he got to Paitilla, the top city, the elite city like we know Paitilla to be today, was San Francisco. San Francisco is where Atlapa is. If you guys
right on the other side.
On the other side, that's where San Francisco is.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing an exhibition there of all the original, when they first started San Francisco. So you will probably see things there regarding the canal construction. Sorry, guys, I'm drinking beer. So the canal construction, and of course the history of the architecture and the city planning of that area, which kind of ties in with the Tivoli.
Yeah, and remember. Some of that area there was part of the Canal Zone. Remember Paitilla?
Correct. Paitilla was part of the Canal Zone, right?
Yeah.
And then it moved into Paitilla,
Right.
So on Calle 50, there's a place called Panama Art Supply. If you guys are in Panama, go check it out. It's from from August 2nd to August 15th, free of charge. So go check that out, guys. And, there's
Sunday.
a lot
Sunday
of museums in Panama, man. There's even a whole... Corundu is called the city of museums. And so Panama, and of course, Andy of Tomidas, we know he's trying to open up a museum in Panama too.
Speaking of cities, a city of saber or city of knowledge.
I got some good stuff tonight about that. Yeah. That those guys are on. Those guys are in the map. Clean guys. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but Clean is gonna be like Paraíso School, world class in AI training. Yep, and one more thing on the announcements, Willie. If you're in Panama or you're going to Panama, you're going to go check out, and I highly recommend it. Go check out the old Panama, the one that was built in the 1500s.
Right, the original Panama.
The original Panama. Now it's you can't just show up nilly-willy and drink beer and hang out like we used to during our time. Now it's fenced in. Sure. You go through. You have to protect it, right? So it's guided tours on a tram, but there's a museum there that you can. Again, you're going to get great history, but you know what's great about Panamanian Museum? It's what they sell there, from the pictures to the cups to the the hats, all the stuff they sold. You've got to go check it out. Top notch stuff. Mm-hmm. So and speaking of molas, there's also a mola museum, Willie, in Casco Viejo. So there's museums for everything, and our boy Andy's going to be doing a museum on the construction days of the canal and the military, right, Willie? How the military protected the canal.
Yep, the defense of the canal.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go right into Willie. You want to do some comments before we get into this bulging news that it's incredible, and took me all week to put this together.
Yeah,
because it's unbelievable what's happening.
No, absolutely.
We have any
what?
comments?
I'll tell you what. We're gonna throw a what are we gonna call this? We're gonna throw a little audible in here real quick, okay? Because something we haven't done in a long time, and people have asked for it. So we're gonna go back in time to the early days of Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. Since we've got a good boching segment here, why don't we just do this, Ricky?
El bochinche.
I do miss that.
I
dude.
swear to God, that gets me right in the spot instead of like moving in this and that. Well, right now we won't do it every week, but once a month we'll do it. We'll do it. Well, guys, listen, we've been telling you guys in our bochinches for 2 years now. We've been talking bochinche, right? And so what I'm doing tonight is connecting all these dots of all these different bochinche stories. I mean, when I told you these stories, I didn't know what the whole puzzle was going to look like, but what it looks like now.
They're just random.
It's just random. So the first was, I was following the California reporter for the Canal Record, and her daughter or his daughter went to Howard with her company from Silicon Valley. I thought, oh, how cool. Okay. Canal's own, daughter goes, granddaughter, whatever, goes to Ancon with her Silicon Valley. That was a great story. So we kind of talked about that right on. And then after that, because we always talk about Mulino and whatnot, and then, the free trade agreement with the United States, how they remodified it right before the tariffs.
Right.
And we thought, oh, what a great deal. We're going to be, and then through that came Mercosur because of that agreement. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then months later, they had like in 23. So this is like 25 news where they came up with this semiconductor partnership.
Right.
And we've been talking about that as well, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, Panama's got this contract. Like, why? Why would it be? I mean, why Panama, et cetera? All right.
Yeah.
And then just last month, actually a couple of days ago, and we talked about it last week. President Trump, no tariffs for Panama. Everybody else, tariffs. Panama, none, zero. Right? So we're like, oh, right on, yay, Panama. And then just a couple of days ago, major announcement, guys. Panama joins Pax Silica. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I had to look it up. Mm-hmm. And what that is, Willie, is Pax Silica is a U.S.-led alliance to secure our supply chain when it comes to the following: semiconductors, data centers, AI computing systems,
correct,
critical minerals,
and
absolutely. More important than anything, fiber optic networks, which by the way, Panama has got like all kinds of up-to-date, and they're actually installing some right as we speak.
They were one of the first countries to do that stuff back in the 90s when the call center started outsourcing out of the U.S.
Centers, exactly, Willie. This is where that all comes from. Yeah. So what happened today, Willie, or maybe yesterday? Mulino comes out, Willie, and he says, Panama's national priority, like running the Panama Canal, is, and this strategy has several major goals, is to turn Panama into an AI skilled labor force. Yeah. Where all at Panama right now is all going to focus, Willie, $105 million to start training, which they have been already. University of Technical University.
Step up now, though.
This is a major because the U.S. is involved.
Sure.
Where they're going to be training thousands of Panamanians in the AI skills. Yeah. Why? To modernize the government using all AI. B, creating high-paying technology jobs, right? But most important, to attract American technology companies.
Right on.
Because we have all these trade pacts, all these agreements, all these partnerships, and to position Panama as the AI digital logistics center. Okay, so in other words, all the information comes there, and then from there it goes out.
And think about the export possibilities with hardware going into Panama with no tariffs, that you can ship it to the U.S.
This is why everybody's going to go there. Exactly for that is the no tariffs and the free trade agreement, so you can just sell to the American market and be part of that supply chain.
Right.
That is, completely.
The Panama Canal is obviously a big component of.
Now, why was Panama chosen, Willie? Few countries possess what Panama has, right? To begin with, the canal.
Yeah.
But what it really has is world-class fiber optic connections. Mm-hmm. And this is what we just mentioned. This is where the major investment is. Of course, Panama has the excellent banking and the two airports, Tocumen and Howard.
Yeah.
All right, now here comes
And
the
a
big
large
one.
English speaking, population.
And a
Panama's
large-
always had an
but-
English speaking because of the Americans there,
But here's the other main reason, Willie. Remember how we mentioned that the University of Arizona came to Clayton
Yeah.
to open up? Okay, well, this
Tempe's
is all
got a big
part
AI
of
center
that.
too. Yeah.
Not only has listen, the University of Panama, their tech university, it's called UTEP, UTEP, UTEP. Those guys graduate 3,000 engineers a year, but they all leave. They all leave.
Right.
I mean, right now, the University of Arizona hired 30 of these Panamanian engineers working for them. They all leave. The vast majority of them leave. And so now the University of Arizona is opening up a campus there where they're, they just graduate 30 people, but they've all left. They got 50 more that are graduating and are going to be leaving as well,
right?
With another 100 more in the pipeline. Drake University, as well as the University of Texas and Purdue, are all moving to Clayton for this to provide this education to this humongous
Big
effort.
influx of students coming in.
Yes. So,
wow. That's
so
great.
right now in Panama, there's 10,000 scholarships worth over $100,000.
Yeah.
To go get trained in AI. All right. On top of that, Willie, and we'll be done with this because this is amazing, man. It really is. Mm-hmm. And this is all came out today or last night. Sorry, last night. The U.S. Embassy also opened up in Clayton a place called Rincon Clubhouse. Of course, Clubhouse.
All right.
That's
Clubhouse.
so
there you go.
Yeah.
Got it from Ricky.
Rincon Club. And what
man.
and what this is, Willie, is a learning center for 12 to 17-year-olds, free of charge.
Oh, right on.
Free of charge. For what else? So this is like the little leagues, right? This is the lightweights.
Yeah, absolutely.
For tech, math, science, arts, and engineering.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. You can set your 12-year-old
as young kids.
Yeah, you can say your 12-year-old up to 17 to go there. Like, remember in the summer, they would send us to the gym and do this and same freaking thing, brother. Right on, man. This is just incredible. So everybody in Panama, if you got grandkids, kids, whatever it is, you jump on this. Jump on this ASAP. Don't let this opportunity get away of training your grandkids in AI. Panama will provide you with the jobs.
You know what's interesting? You bring that up, and it got me thinking a little bit of what Panama's looking at from really, really long-term future planning. Right? Is out in the Middle East, these countries are just gazillionaires, right? I mean, these people. They sit on gold toilets. They have so much money because of oil, right?
But look at what the Saudis doing, building that linear city that in the desert, and it failed.
But think about before that, what they've established, that sovereign wealth fund. Right. And what they've done is said, hey, we need to diversify our economy from oil, because there will come a time when the oil is no longer primal, item that the world needs. And at that point, then they have nothing but sand in their country. And you look at Great Britain. I mean, Great Britain, relied on all these countries, and they realized at some point all these colonies are going to go away, and so they diversified into finance, and they're a huge country because of finance. Panama is going to realize there's going to come a time when the canal is no longer the end-all be-all for shipping, and then what are you going to have?
Right, so that's exactly what the president said. We don't want to just export logistics services.
Right.
They want to start exporting programmers, AI engineers, cybersecurity specialists, data scientists, cloud engineers.
Yeah.
Oh my
future,
God.
Absolutely.
Right on, man. I'm so happy that they've chosen Panama for that. I know it's a future, midterm, not short term, but hey, we're on the way, we're on the way.
It's a start.
And let's get those kids, or as many Zonian grandkids as we can get, man. That is just it. We're going to promote
because
that.
you have that edge with your English.
We're going to promote exactly, Willie. We're going to promote that. You guys get those kids there.
Yeah.
We're going to get that.
Just buy us a few beers, man, and we'll sponsor all your schools, man. Just send us a few beers. We're good. That's
right? Imagine if we can sponsor a scholarship. Wow, that would be
right?
phenomenal. We can get
you guys stepped up for Jim Duffus's.
Oh, that was phenomenal. Right on, everybody, man.
So, I mean, these guys step up when they need to. That's for sure.
The Zonians are like that. Yes.
Steam, right? Yeah, Paul Gibbs from Ciudad de El Saber. Yeah, City of Knowledge. That's really cool
City
what
of
they've done
Knowledge.
with Clayton. You know, it's
World-class
it was kind of laid out
university.
for that, you know, and Clayton always had that you know where you'd have that room for those facilities and whatnot. So that's
You know what Clayton does have, Willie? I always promote them. Gamboa Bakery. So whoever's there, go there and then go on that park walk. Because I
I'm gonna
just
have
saw.
to try them out one day, man. Because I'm telling you what, man, I've heard so much.
Well,
about
you
that
know, the
place,
kid is all right. He's one of those adopted Zonians that came during the COVID and he lived in
Right.
Gamboa. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to make the best croissants for the Zonian community. And
Science,
boy, did he.
technology, engineering, arts, man. Right on. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. STEAM. Hey, cool. There you go.
Yeah. By the U.S. Embassy. Right on, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul lives there, you know, as well as Spain, as well as Paul lives everywhere. I think he's got a house in Greece, too.
yeah. He's a global one. That's for sure.
He's the global one,
He's the
man.
global one. So yeah, well, good for Panama, man. That's exciting stuff.
That
there,
is
man.
exciting. I'm glad.
Bright
You know
future,
what?
man.
Because we've talked about all these things, but never like why they were being why we were just saying because they were what was on the news, you know, and it was a great news to talk about.
Yeah. You know, it's like the other day I saw something about Copa Airlines and what they're, you know, they sponsor an aviation academy where you can actually, if you qualify a certain way, that they will put you through flight school. And they, I mean, it's
Right. Well, it's because there's a shortage. You know, they're expanding. They don't have enough people.
the whole world's in a
Mechanics,
shortage.
Pilots,
you know.
yeah.
The majority of pilots in most countries is mandatory retirement age is 65. And what they're estimating just in the United States alone over the next 10 years, they're going to lose about 70% of their pilots because they have to retire.
Hey,
So
I'll tell you
it's a
what else we're losing,
huge-
Willie. We're losing electricians to the AI data centers. So that's another thing I'm going to promote here. If you get your grandkids into that if they don't want to study, they want to be a tradesperson.
Placement business here, man.
No, man.
people
I
with
know.
jobs.
We're on a roll. We're on a roll, Willie. Let's get
Copa's
to
offering engineering. Yeah, right on. Yes, they are. It's amazing what Copa has become. It's just a massive airline. I mean, it's a big conglomerate. I mean, it's
they lead the world in many categories.
they sure do.
One of them is like being on time, which is the number one key category to lead in.
They've really taken full advantage of the whole premise of what the Canal Zone was, right? That funnel to the world, and certainly the Western Hemisphere. If there's a central spot to connect the entire Western Hemisphere with one stop and one flight, it's Panama City and Copa and Tocumen. And there's virtually no big city in the Americas that you can't get to with one stop flying Copa Airlines. You can go from Vancouver to Dominican Republic with one stop in Panama.
Yeah, San Francisco, direct
You
flight.
know,
Boom.
exactly. Everybody goes directly to Panama, and from there. In fact, that was one of the reasons why, at one point last year, remember we talked about that whole tourism program where if you spend at least 3 or 4 days in Panama,
You got
bonus.
that $500
Because
bonus.
everybody's flying
coupon.
Copa, but it's just to connect through Panama, not to actually visit. And that's
Stay,
one of the
yeah.
things they said that it's.
I wonder
it's
if that's
such a
still
conven-
going.
I would assume so because Copa offers. I mean, it really is such an obvious connection for anybody in the Americas is to take Copa because it's one connection, you know, and God knows they have plenty of flights because that airport is always busy with Copa flights, man. Certainly not the Copa Airlines that I worked for. I worked for Copa Airlines from 1980 late 86 till mid 88.
How many planes did they have when you worked there?
One. And then we ended up leasing another one, a 727, which I have some interesting adventures with that one, including being put on a list by the Haitian government to give them 24 hours notice when Mr. Benninghoff is going to fly to Haiti.
Always in trouble, Willie. Always
Well,
in
I
trouble.
was in trouble because I snitched them out on some shenanigans they had going on there.
I
but
got you. Oh yes, that's right. Because you worked the gate.
I was it was interesting. It was a great job. It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot easier than it is now because we had one plane, and so that plane would fly every day at 5 p.m. That plane would leave Tocumen and do its Central America route. It would go San Jose, Managua, Nicaragua, San Salvador, and then overnight in Guatemala, and make the run back in the morning. Arrives in Panama at noon, and at 2:00 it's on its way to Colombia.
Yeah, but back then, Air Panama was killing it.
Yes, well, Air Panama was the government airline, so they had
Right,
endless cash. You know,
They
where
had the
Copa was
service
private
like
one.
nobody's business.
Yeah, they did. They could outspend Copa on everything. You know, Copa. You know, but you look now, and Air Panama is in essence a puddle jumper.
Johnny, what's
You know?
that ice cream spot close to the bakery? Because that's great. Having a bakery and an ice cream spot next to each other. Jesus, they'd be waiting gaining 10 pounds.
Flying from Raleigh to Panama and Copa in a few. Oh, right on. That's right. Yeah, Tanya's mentioned she's going to Panama.
Hey,
Yes.
Tanya.
See, that's incredible that from Raleigh you have a nonstop flight to Panama and Copa. That's amazing. That's amazing, man. You know, it used to be, well, Miami, of course. Well, you got to get to Miami, right? You got to get to maybe Dallas, maybe LA or something. But you can go from Raleigh. I mean, so many cities that now they're flying direct. It's
and Japan. You can go all the way to Japan now.
Yes, you can.
All
Yes, you
right.
can. So, okay, ice cream spot in Fort Clayton. What do we have here? Is all gas station by the police station. Okay. Okay,
Oh,
right
I remember
on.
that spot. That's like
Yeah.
what the Burger King used to be, right?
Oh, that was
so,
after.
right?
Yes, after it became Panama. Right. The train centers in Clayton. Oh, for Copa. Yes, that's right. And they have a simulator. That's really cool, man. It's amazing. I grew up in that airline. My mom was assistant executive for Copa for many, many years. When she retired, it was an incredible the amount of people that showed up at her retirement party from not just Copa, but from dignitaries from other airlines and from the government and whatnot. But it was cool to be part of that small airline because it was a family, right? And everybody.
Look at what it is today, Willie.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, you're the OG.
It's amazing.
I mean, truly, you're the OG. There was only one plane. You can't get more OG than that. You can't
Let me
be
tell you
OG
what,
with
man.
0 planes.
I could henpeck on a manual typewriter a passenger list to get people out that had to be. We started it at 4:30 and at 4:45 that thing had to be ready. And you're typing up names as they came into a little slot in the hole in the wall behind the ticket counter. And man, what an adventure! It was a really, really fun job, man. But it's good for Copa, guys. Right on. Congrats, guys.
Congrats, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Another
All right,
cheer,
moving on. What
another
else
cheer,
we got on
another
the
cheer,
book
and
here?
another
I know,
cheer.
right? Absolutely. Cheers on that for sure.
We're going to be talking sloppy here in a few minutes here.
I know. We got some trivia. Good thing we already know the answers, man, because otherwise it'd be a mess, man. There's some cool questions there, guys, so be ready for them. And
Yes,
again,
and we got some great gifts, man. You get a 4-pack.
4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce, and we were hoping to get it, but we just weren't quite ready for it yet. But we've a gift certificate for a soon-to-open-up store called Keep On Zonin'.
Keep on zoning.
So stay tuned for that, but you will definitely in the
We need
next
a song with that,
trivia,
Willie. Keep on zoning.
And we might actually include it in this, but the gift card won't be ready until what's that?
Heart, like that heart song.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, Keep On Zoning, it's kind of a play on words off of Keep On Trucking, remember in the 70s?
Yes, yes.
And the dude was walking with the big footstep out, his foot out, his thumbs up.
Keep on streaking is the one I remember.
Yeah. No, it's, in fact, let me see.
That was the 70s.
I think our boy.
I remember that. I was like 12, 11, 12. And that was like real popular back in the Canal Zone. These people would just streak down Old Prado. And one time at the theater, they streaked across the
right,
the screen.
There he is. Keep on zoning.
Yep. That's
boy
our
right there.
little mascot there. We call him Zony too, by the way.
But yeah, so Keep On Zoning is gonna be all kinds of Canal Zone stuff, from apparel to tumblers to all kinds of cool stuff. So,
Hats.
yeah, that'll be cool. So in the next trivia, not this one, but the next one, we'll definitely have some Howler Monkey sauce and a Keep On Zoning gift card, so somebody can load up on some cool Zonian apparel.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have a commissary for the people that also sell Canal Zone.
Yeah. If you're a vendor, you
want to
all
get it all in one big ginormous commissary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be the Amazon for the Canal Zone.
Something like that. Something like that. We'll work on it. But
all right. That's the beers talking now, guys.
Yes,
oh my god!
Also, we got all kinds of grandiose plans here. Here we go. That's what Bar Talk does for you, man. That's what Bar Talk's all about. So are we good with the boching, or does that wrap it up?
Oh yeah, boching's done, man. I loved it, man. It was. I was just amazed when he came out. And I was like, wait. I've talked about all these things. Let's put it together, Willie.
Yeah.
And Willie's like, go for it, Brad. Willie always supports in everything I want to do.
Run with it, brother. That's exactly
all week long. I was working it, studying it, and I'm like, no shit. It's all come together. We've been seeing it come together little by little. And here he is.
Well, and the content was great, but it was also really enjoyable to listen to that Bochinche song because I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, I know. And you're right. People have been asking for it. People are like, Ricky, what happened? We love the Bochinche because you know what? All these videos that start our segment, it just gets us in the mood, Willie.
It does.
It really does.
And it's
like
fun,
the K Pasa one is beautiful. I love that one.
I mean, we're the second evolution of SCN, so we gotta play the role.
SCN, Canal Zone.
One way that you play the role,
radio
though,
and television services in the Canal Zone.
Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
You know what? We should bring that gentleman on, Mr. Rupp. Was it Rupp?
Bob Rupp. Bob Rupp. And Bob Rupp was a singer for a band. And there's a picture that was circulating around recently of him, lead singer for this band, in the Monster Room, which is in, what was that place called?
Air at the Right Hand.
Araizona.
Oh, the name of the bar?
the name of the bar. Well, wasn't even,
that was fun when I laughed about it.
It was like a bus depot. It was like a bus depot right just past the outskirts of the Canal Zone on the West Bank, right before you arrive into Arahan. And it was called Arizona because it wasn't Arizona the state. It was Araihan and La Zona, so Araizona.
Yeah.
And there was a bus depot, but if you went in the back, there was...
That was that bar. You know what made me laugh when I read, when people were sent in their stories about it?
Right.
That you could barely see what the person next to you looked like. And I'm, of course.
Right.
They turn on the lights, everybody would leave.
That's exactly it, man. But if you guys check out on SCN, actually not SCN, but Facebook.com/CZ Rocks, Canal Zone Rocks. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of postings there and a lot of Zonians that were involved in that. Some people that I
know, man.
For example, I saw Elaine Lewis, she was one of the principals at Balboa High School when I was there.
I remember Mrs. Lewis. She was actually at Balboa Elementary. She was a teacher there.
She sang in a band at the Monster Room.
No way.
Yes.
That was like a naughty spot.
That's what I'm saying, and so, I guess this is maybe how our kids look at us, and like, no way. I was like, yeah, we were pretty cool, man. As much. Oh
no, yeah, you're right. You're right. You know what? We talk a lot with Pablo Prieto, and he always lets us know how cool his generation was.
Yes, exactly.
And by the way, I'm working him hard. I hope he's watching tonight. I'm working him hard to come on the show and tell his life story, because we all want to hear his great life story as a Zonian kid. Growing up in the Canal Zone, he was a Kurundu kid. I grew up with his brother, Marco. Marco and I have been friends forever. Yes. Tanya remembers. Her and I, we lived next to each other when we saw those people running across naked.
That's fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. Rich, how you doing? Buenas noches.
Hey, Rich. We haven't seen you in a while. Well, good to see you, March. Went on. Yeah, right on, man. Good to see you, Rich.
No, that's good.
Hope you're good, my friend.
You are, absolutely. But anyway, listen. So again, tonight, guys, we're going to do some trivia here in just a little while. And again, the prize is a 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce. And so let's give these guys a little bit of love here and go back and visit our friend Gamboa, who we haven't talked to in quite a bit.
I love Gamboa. He's funny.
Gamboa's cool, man. So here you go, guys.
Howler Monkey Sauce sent me to the jungles of Panama in search of their new spokesperson, and let's see if we find them.
Hey, listen, you don't need to keep looking for a spokesperson. You found me. I love this Howler Monkey hot sauce.
Wow. Okay, and what's your name?
They call me Gamboa up here in these trees.
Roll camera and action.
This one, the Amarillo, is going to be amazing on chicken. Trust me.
Do you know a howler monkey who can describe the sweet heat of our original with authentic ají chombo peppers, or the fresh punch of verde where habanero warmth meets crisp bell pepper? How about the bold tang of Amarillo, yellow Scotch bonnets blended with mustard seeds? And of course, our hot, the same great flavor as original, with red habaneros for that fire. Our sauces are all natural, no preservatives, gluten-free, pure flavor and pure fire. Are you the next Howler Monkey spokesperson?
Yeah, definitely uncage that flavor, guys, because it is they do have and not for nothing, but I've actually been pushing these guys before they even became a sponsor because I do love that hot sauce.
They're
It
so
really
good
is
with the Zonian community.
hot sauce, and it is, and it's a Zonian community. This is two Zonians that make this, and you know, it's pure Panama. Everything about that, you know, from the ajichombo to the, you know, I mean,
I'm gonna try it with my chicken now. That yellow, I forgot about that.
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
try that.
They're 4 different flavors. They all have different flavor profiles. If you're not really into hot sauce, the red one may be a little bit much, but you could probably, you know, just, you know, bring it down a little bit. But the others, they actually have a good flavor to them, and they really do complement certain foods. In my opinion, you know, that verde is great on anything seafood, you know, on some your Mexican dishes, you know, even on pork and stuff like that. Amarillo is great on a steak. It is fantastic on a steak, and even like Ricky found out the other day, on a pizza. It's great on a pizza, you know. And the original is a Panama flavor. The original one really, you know, if you close your eyes and someone said, "Hey, this is Panama hot sauce," you'd be like, "Yep, it sure is." You know, it really does. These guys are spot on, man. They're great hot sauce. Give them some love. They're available on Amazon if you're here in the States. Panama, I think it's Magoo's is one place. I think if McGee's still on, if you can chime in. You know, Magoo's.
Austin Mamas has it. They serve it.
Yeah, so definitely, you know, check these guys out, man, because they have a great selection there. But if you're up to speed on your latest Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club episodes and you paid attention, you may just land yourself a 4-pack here on our trivia. So, you know, definitely stick around for that. So let's, you know what? Let's go ahead and kick off our trivia right now. Anyway, why not? You know what? Better no time like the present is what they say, right?
Yes, sir.
But let's. No, that's not the guy right there. Who is it? Well, I had an intro go. Oh no, I don't have one.
The beginning.
Yeah. For trivia, we don't have an intro just yet. I'm working on an intro for that. But here's the thing: when it comes to the trivia, guys, and let's go ahead and jump into our trivia studio. Hey, there we are. There's Ricky on his podium. There's me behind my podium. So the one key to this trivia, in order to answer, you're going to answer the questions in the chat. When we put the questions out, when it starts, there are multiple choice 1 through 4. Okay. The key though is the system here will only register your answer if you put the pound sign before the answer. So if you think it's number 3, hit #3.
Or hashtag.
Or hashtag, as they say in today's internet world and all that good stuff there. So make sure you do that. Because that otherwise, like I said, it's not going to register your number. And
yes, and those sauces are delicious.
They absolutely are. But you know, when we got some cool trivia here. Some of that was from the excavation shows and other things. And then Ricky, of course, had his architecture, which by the way, guys, that architecture, Ricky works his butt off on that and comes up with some really
I love it though, man.
And you know, when he initially pitched to me that, hey, you know, I'd really like to do an architecture show. In all honesty, I was like, you know, architecture, it's.
I know. I had to pay about $1,000 to convince you.
But well, it's true. I mean, I got my New Jersey and all that stuff. But no, I mean, the way Ricky does it, it's a story behind it. You know, it really it's not something, you know, nuts and bolts. Okay, well, you got to have this angle here on these, and don't forget this roof needs that. It's not that at all. It really tells a story that I think is really cool. You've done a bang of job.
Gracias. Yeah, I had to pay for that too.
No, Ricky helps out a lot on this show. Honestly, you guys, you know, he gives me a lot of credit for doing a lot of things here. But you know, like for example, for this trivia show, right? You know, to stress the fact that you got to put that hashtag in front of the answer. You know, Ricky volunteered to go ahead and put on a suit and get filmed doing it. So here, check it out. Look at that. There he is. He's in his suit there, and he's walking by. It says hashtag +number for your answer.
Yeah. That's going to be when I go to the Giants game this weekend. I'm going to be wearing that.
So you see, that's Ricky, man. He's a champ, man. He really steps up to the plate and does his part.
I take one up for the team. Anything for the team.
Absolutely, man. So, you know, gracias, amigo, man, for really stepping up to the plate there. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and kick off then our trivia here.
Yes, we have to make sure we do. We really have practiced it several times already.
We did.
So we get our timing down. What was it again? 4 minutes, 4 seconds on the first, 11 seconds on the back end.
Yeah, something like that. We gotta, you know, make it happen here. Make sure we account for the delay. Correct. So what we figured out is it's about 2 seconds, 3 seconds is the lag from when we put something out and you guys see it on your screen.
You guys see it, right?
But what we've also figured out is that when you throw something in the chat, okay, and you hit send, it's still about almost a 10-second lag before we see it pop up on the screens here. Okay, so that's the time that Ricky and I are just going to start yapping and running our mouth and acting like we're intelligent and talking about some stuff here. But, we'll fill some time. We'll make it happen, kind of like what we're doing now here. But, yes, thank you for that. We are going to count for that delay. But that being said, it is multiple choice, right? I'll go ahead and read all the answers, so so if you can't read or whatever, if you're doing it on your phone and you can't see them on a tiny screen there, but for those of you that are maybe on a big TV or something, obviously you'll be able to see the answers and you can answer a little quicker. So, also be mindful that the faster the answer comes in, the higher points you get. Okay, that does help determine who the winner is. So that's that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started here.
Move in.
All right. So that first question.
Oh, I should be working that stuff. Oh, what happened? Did I run out of lights? Oh,
I think so. Let me see here. What is?
Wow, all my lights turned off, Willie. I wonder what happened.
Oh, your lights turned off. We don't want that.
Both my lights turned
All right, so
off.
what was the primary reason Chief Engineer John Frank Stevens suspended excavation efforts shortly after his arrival in 1905? Okay. Was it 1, to rebuild infrastructure and address worker health and morale? And remember, put your hashtag before the answer if you think that's what it is. Number 2, a formal order from President Roosevelt to prioritize the Gatun Dam. Were they ready to do that first? Was it the lack of available dredging equipment from the French effort? Right. Or was it the discovery of the massive Cucaracha slide in the Culebra Cut? So what was the reason why Stevens suspended excavation efforts in 1905? Remember, we covered that because that was early on, right?
Yeah, and you can't go wrong if you're going to choose Cucaracha. How can you not choose Cucaracha?
But let's see. Let's check out some of the answers here and see what everybody's going to say. Okay.
FIF. I haven't figured that one out yet. 4.
I got number 1. So he's thinking rebuild the infrastructure and address worker health. That was a big problem. Remember, we showed up, and obviously, the French tried, and they had major problems there. So it looks like number 1 seems to be the general consensus here. Okay, so speed is life, as they say here. Tanya's going to buck the trend here and say that it was the lack of available dredging from the French equipment. They did find some amazing equipment, and I'll tell you what was really amazing about that was the French figured out that the climate in Panama was so corrosive that they put these real thick layers of paint over all of their equipment.
Lead paint, by the way.
Yeah, Ricky's really hung up on that apparently. But anyhow, when we pulled some of that stuff out of the jungles and in the water and everything, it wasn't difficult to repurpose it or clean it up and get it. If it was functional, if it could do the job, they would get it working again. If not, they would scrap it and pull a lot of stuff off of it. But the metal itself and all the equipment itself was well protected from all this interesting paint. So anyway, let's see what the answer is on this one here. It is number 1, yes. To rebuild the
right
infrastructure.
on. Everybody's right on. Cool,
Yep,
cool.
That's absolutely right. So you guys are paying attention, and it's
And
very
we're learning
true,
a
guys.
lot here. Yeah.
In 1904, when Wallace showed up, he started this thing, and his orders were make the dirt fly. And he got in there very gung-ho to make the dirt fly, and he really quick realized,
I can't handle this. I'm over my head on this deal.
Yes, indeed. And then Stevens, he only lasted a year. Then Stevens came in the following year, and that's when he basically, there's a lot of things that he did. Amongst those was to basically stop everything here. And now he had a lot of pressure from Congress because they were spending a lot of money, and they're not seeing a whole lot of progress yet. And he's saying, well, hold on now. We got to retool this thing. We got people dying. We got funeral trains that are busier than the excavation.
Right, because that's right. Wasn't that the year that they cured the yellow fever?
That's when they started addressing it. That's when Gorgas finally convinced them that, hey, listen, dude, it's the mosquitoes. It's not this bad air. Remember, they thought it was bad air. The air was causing people to get sick, and it was mosquitoes, and so they started, I mean, everything. We know the whole story: draining all the water, the sitting water, the
building on hills,
absolutely, and putting now screens on everything. You didn't have the open air, housing and all that. So it did, and finally they were able to, between doing that and then again the infrastructure, which really more than anything was the railroad. They realized that as long as these excavators. It was, you know, one of the big keys that I've learned as to why that was so important. Because a lot of people ask, well, you know, it just would have taken longer, right? Well, it's not so much the more length of time that it was going to take, but you think about the equipment they were using. These were excavators. They were all steam powered. Okay, these things, when they lit that fire at 5 or 6 in the morning, that thing was going to run all day. Whether that thing was excavating or not, it's not like you could turn it off like a car, you know, and then when the train shows up, you turn it back on. You have to have it running the whole time. And so in order to be efficient and get your money's worth out of this, you had to have these guys scooping up train load after train load after train load. And that's what he realized. The only way you can do that is be able to move these cars in. They had one set of track to get what in some cases we figured out 160 cars later on were running in one day. Imagine the backlog if all of these people had to use one-way road like the Balboa Bridge. And that's what they had to do. You'd have 30 cars waiting in line.
Get inaugurated 1941.
Yeah, right. Right. If they would have done it, they would have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
So it was a big
those
deal,
engineers. Hey, that was a massive project. That wasn't like a whole bunch of these projects were going on during that time. No, mister, I was the only one of that magnitude.
And the pressure that these guys were under to turn around and say, hey, we got to stop this. You know, the cojones, you need to do that, man, because there was a lot of people back in the U.S.
Stevens, of all people.
You. Yeah. And remember, this guy was a civilian, mind you, right? And which is why
hard. He was tough. He was tough.
But he was a railroad guy. He came from the railroad world, and he knew how to do that and make the dirt fly here eventually, which he did. So, all right, the next one.
Right on.
What material was used for the majority of the Tivoli Hotel's structure upon its completion in 1906?
We told you.
Was it a frame made of wood with a brick center section?
Perhaps.
Was it reinforced concrete and steel to withstand the humidity?
Most likely.
2. Number 3, was it adobe and tile to reflect the traditional Panamanian style?
I can see that.
Or was it number 4, imported French limestone salvaged from abandoned canal sites?
I mean, we were classy.
And the French were wasteful. Well, they might have imported all that crap and then left it there, you know? I mean, seriously, these guys, I'm telling you, man, they got a phone call going, hey, shut down, we're done. And they blew a whistle and everybody dropped their tools and walked away because, I mean, they left everything out there, man. They didn't take
sure
one single
did,
thing
bro.
home,
They
man.
sure did.
Yeah, so what are we thinking on this one, guys?
That's a tough one, Willie. Say Willie.
Yeah, no, that's this is your neck of the woods. This is the architect.
I know, but it could be almost any one of those 4. Let's see what people are saying.
Well, it looks
Willie.
like we're getting a lot of number
one.
one.
Leafy. Good to see you, Leaf.
Yeah. Vern, good to see
Number
you, brother.
one, Vern,
Atlantic side, Vern. And what do you call him? El Foro de Colón.
Paul,
right?
number 1. All right.
Yeah, a lot of number 1s here.
Yeah. All right, everybody listens. Everybody listen. Right on.
We did. Okay, so let's see if we get do we get a drum roll on this or not? On this.
Ay, Dios mío, yo estoy más dormido, Willie. Pa ver, layers, banners, music. There it is. Pa ver, ting, 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 ting. Oh no, you wanted the drum roll, beast.
When you have
the worst help,
man. Look at this guy. Man.
I'm just enjoying this show. I'm sure like all our viewers are. This is awesome. That is next one. I'm so excited.
Oh, there it is. There
it is. Drum roll. All right.
So it's a frame made of wood and brick center section.
That is correct. Okay. And the reason why, Willie, was because there was a whole shitload of that stuff around to build the railroads. All that heavy timber. Yeah,
correct.
That's why.
Correct. And a lot of the wood that they used, we found out, was that redwood because it was very averse to termites and stuff. So yeah, that was that in itself was another one of those game changers. So
yeah, living in San Francisco gives me that. I know that both Panama and San Francisco grew up together. They became who we are because of each other. I feel very fortunate about that.
Yeah. What's interesting when you think about that now, in 1906, you had that big earthquake in San Francisco, so they had a lot of rebuilding there. I wonder if that impacted supplies going to Panama.
I'm sure the effort was probably coordinated, by the way, with equipment and material going to both spots. And that's probably why they did the exposition together in 1914.
Yeah, they had a lot of camaraderie there. So, all right. So here we go. In the later stage, I don't understand why the graphics aren't showing up. I had these supposed to have with a.
Are we getting the cheap version of AI again? No, just kidding, guys.
That's what I'm thinking here, man. Because I don't.
In the later stage of construction.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it's not showing
the other picture.
Well, each one of them is supposed to have an image attached to it.
All right, well, dale.
That's so bizarre. Let me look at something here real quick.
And we're not dissing any other country, so we should be good.
Yeah. No. I just don't understand why it's not showing the images. But okay, well, we're just going to move along anyway. So, okay, so here we go then. On this one, it was, what are the later stages of construction? What system did the Army engineers introduce to increase efficiency in the later stages of construction? Was it a mandatory rotation policy, moving workers from Atlantic to Pacific? Interesting. Was it the complete replacement of civilian engineers with military personnel? Well, they won't push back. I mean, those people, you're in the military, dude. You just got to follow orders. Was it a productivity tracking system that pitted different teams against one another?
I would go with that one. That's a good one.
Or was it a flat salary system that eliminated overtime pay for laborers? Gosh,
on the latter stages of construction, what management system did the Army engineers introduce to increase efficiency? So that means that they reintroduce a new way of doing this project to either go faster or cost less.
Yeah.
So was it a mandatory rotation policy?
So we got a couple different opinions on this one now.
These are tough, man.
Yeah,
We've got an incredible viewership. Number 2, huh?
We got a number 2
replacement
here
of the civilian engineers with military personnel.
Okay, we got the one about the productivity.
No trust in our civil engineers? Beat them. No,
right. It seems like number 3 is a general consensus, although number 2 is also, showing up here. So it's either going to be number 2, a complete replacement of civilian engineers with military personnel, okay, or a productivity tracking system that pitted different teams against one another. And
you know what? I'm a construction manager, and that's what they do. That's what I'm saying. That could be definitely when I was building McDonald's, that's what we did all the time.
Well, and certainly the trend for number 2 started right from the get-go when they brought Goethals in, because Goethals was a colonel. Teddy Roosevelt at this point was irritated that he had lost two
the
chief
Corps of Engineers. Of course, you bring in the Corps, you don't need the civilian guys.
Resign, right?
These are all good. I mean, these can all be, or all of the above, tu sabes.
Yeah, or all of the above here. So let's figure out which one it's going to be then. A productivity tracking system that pitted different teams against each other. And this was something, if you go to the Canal Museum collection at the University of Florida, you can access, amongst all their digitized collection, is the Canal records from, I think they start from 1907. All the way through, and these came out weekly, and you can access every single one of them. And let me tell you what, in there, what they're talking about here, they would put articles in there, and they're talking about which excavator did the most this week, which team did the most, which, Atlantic, Central, or Pacific did, I mean, it really made these guys into people that you looked up to, and I imagine if you walk into a bar and a guy walks in, you probably buy him a drink, because this guy excavated 5,000 cubic yards yesterday, man. Something, what a beast. And so they were looked up that way, like sports heroes or something. And that was purposeful to do this in this, think about it. There was no TV, there was no radio stations in Panama at the time. So even if you brought a radio from the United States, there's nothing to listen to, so your only real communication, on a daily basis to keep you entertained and informed was the Canal record. And in that, they purposely showcased this productivity, which then it was bragging rights, man. And that was
really it works. It totally works, because like I said, when I worked, we built 75 McDonald's in 2 years in Puerto Rico. 75.
Right.
So it was based on management systems like this. So yes. Sure.
And I would imagine as they started winding things down, as you start getting into 1912, 1913,
people are slacking,
slow down, you're going to have less need for some of these excavators. Which crews are you keeping? The ones that had the numbers.
That's right. And
it's a smart way to motivate people and get them working, man. So there you go, guys. It was number 3 here. Let's see what the next one is.
That's a good one, Willie.
There we go.
Hey, this is a good one.
Some images here. What year did the Balboa Clubhouse open? Okay, there were several clubhouses. The Balboa,
I think 9 total.
This
was Balboa.
This was Balboa. This was the big daddy of them all, right? And it may not necessarily have been the first, but it was the beast, and it was purposely positioned at the other end of that whole El Prado admin building lineup. which was
to
purpose-built,
commemorate
guys.
those builders.
Yes,
that's why they
indeed.
did it. Where everything else, Willie, was cement, concrete, masonry.
Yep.
Was to say like Balboa Elementary School, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
The et cetera.
What was the
you
date
guys
that
know
we
all the
got
buildings.
there? July
You guys know.
4th, 1907? Was it January 1st of 1910? Was it December 24th of 1914? Or was it none of the above? Okay.
Then I trick all you guys. Let's see if everybody paid attention.
Put that hashtag in front of it, right?
Hashtag.
Do whether it's hashtag 1, hashtag 2, hashtag 3, or hashtag.
Willie, yours were so hard. Mine are like super easy.
No, these are good, man. I like the fact that they're not that easy because you're getting all kinds of different ideas here. You got a number 2 here from McGee. Leach saying number 1.
Makes sense.
Chris is saying number 1. Dot is going with
July
number 3
4th,
on here. So
this is the Balboa Clubhouse. Let's be clear, Balboa Clubhouse number 2.
Clubhouse, so let's figure out which one it is here on this.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Teacher Rick's bringing out the marker because we got a couple of F's.
And
the answer is December 24th, 1904. Guys, this was 12 weeks after the Panama Canal opened. So can you guys just imagine the amount of celebration of that proud of getting this, project open? It must have been unbelievable when they opened that. And then 7 years after the Tivoli. So,
but you know what's tricky? Now that you mention that, what's interesting is that this really is the beginnings of the transition from a construction project now to a support project, and support the personnel that are living in the canal zone, running the canal now, because the excavators are gone for the most part. I mean, there's still a little bit of work gone here and there, but now a lot of dredge work and stuff. But now you're really working the canal. You're supporting the canal. You've got your
the police force, the firemen, the teachers,
man,
everybody, everybody from all the different divisions.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yes, right after the canal opened, they brought it over from Empire because it was a very prominent building on the Empire, and I
love the fact that, like you pointed out, that for that entire area from the admin building all the way down, it's all made of that big, strong concrete. Yet
all the houses, the
other end
post
of it,
office.
they celebrate what turns out to be, we'll talk about it later because it's important later on if we talk about here as far as that structure. But why that one differentiated from everything else on El Prado as far as the way it looked and everything. But it was
to commemorate those guys, those early
for
builders.
Sure. For sure, man.
And more, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. So here we go. Next question then.
Right
Who
on.
provides the images for the Pan Canal? Okay, so now I'm really irritated that image is not coming up because that was a good one, man.
No, this is right. This is the right one.
No, but the images aren't coming up, dude. I had an image for every one of these.
This one does say the Panama Canal Society reunion. Maybe your background, because on mine it does. It's the one that you selected for this one.
Are the images showing up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, okay, good. I don't see them on my end, so I was just okay. Good. All right. So, who provides the images for Pan Canal reunions in Orlando? Is it number 1, Kay Ritchie?
Mr. K Boy. Yes,
right.
yes.
Is it number 2?
Great photographer, by the way.
Yes, he is. Is it number 2, Hotel Security?
Perhaps.
Maybe
That's the reason why they kicked us out of the restaurant from doing our show there, because of those cameras.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Is it number 3, Carlton Morris?
Perhaps. He's another great photographer. We got two Zonian photographers there.
And I think Carlton Morris was snooping around the show the other day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we had him on too.
Right.
Yeah. Ansel Adams, of course, it's got to be Ansel Adams. Yeah. Only Ansel Adams can do work at the Canal Zone reunion because that's how elite we are, guys.
That's absolutely it. So who we think it is here? We've got a couple of answers here. Let's see what we got. Most people are going with number 3, huh? Okay, well, I think you should go with number 3 on that, but let's figure it out just in case here. Who is it that does that?
Everybody went with number 3?
Yeah.
He's just too popular. We all love Carlton.
Yes, Carlton Morris.
Yeah, Carlton Morris. We love him. That's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet, by the way.
Yeah, Carlton's great. He always has one of those stories. you know, and they're totally off the wall, you know. Hey, Carlton's going good, man. Hey, you know what? And you're like, why? Where did that come from, man? Carlton's a great guy, great guy. Takes amazing pictures too. If you haven't seen him, go to Canal Society on the Facebook page because he took a lot of great pictures.
We normally get him before everybody else does, like at all the reunion pictures. So,
yeah,
Carlton, thanks for that.
But he definitely is a good. I was texting Kay. He laughed. Yeah,
right on, Kay.
Yeah, let him know he made the show, man. Yeah. Right.
K-Boy and I go way back.
Yeah,
I think we were neighbors actually.
He's a good guy, man.
Yeah.
And he was.
And his brother, the doctor, tremendous doctor.
And he was. He was an umpire for baseball for a while there.
K-Boy or his brother?
No, K-Boy.
Yeah, K-Boy. Yeah. His
He,
brother was too smooth for that. Doctor. He's a doctor. Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Oh. We should bring on those Richies on the show because they also have a great Zonian story.
Yeah. No. Of course, they absolutely do. They have a good legacy, man. All right, here we go. What was the significance of the 1906 visit to Panama by President Theodore Roosevelt? And check him out there flying his plane over. It looks like Culebra Cut there, huh? Obviously, that's an AI image because he wasn't flying no plane like that over the canal. But you know, in fact, during I guess you would have some types of planes like that a little bit, right? Because the Wright brothers were what, in 1903, 1904 when the Wright brothers first flew out of Kitty Hawk or whatever. So you had a little bit of airplanes, but not a whole lot of aviation to this point down there.
In 06, yeah.
But nonetheless, that's not the important thing here. What are the answers? It was the first time a U.S. sitting president had traveled abroad. Or was it the occasion?
Could it be the first time?
That's what they say. It was also the occasion for the official renaming of the Culebra Cut.
Because from Gaillard to Culebra.
Yeah. It marked the grand opening of the fully completed Gatun locks. Okay.
You know what? That was the first one. Yeah. That was the big one.
Okay.
So that's a good reason to go there.
It was primarily intended to negotiate the 1903 Hay-Bunau-Varia Treaty.
Well, you know what? I would. That was a good one too, there, Willie. Because remember, the United States ended up paying Colombia for taking the canal an extra $10 million.
Yeah, sure did. 11 million.
11 million. So,
did.
Well,
the general consensus is number one: the first time a U.S. sitting president had traveled abroad. Yeah, and they said that was there was something they, for whatever reason, I guess they didn't do it before that. But
we know where he stayed.
But let's see if that is, in fact, the real answer there. Let's see here.
It's going to be tough getting away those 4 tonight, man. So you guys better go faster because this is, I think everybody's tied. I don't think there hasn't been that many wrong answers.
No. You're absolutely right.
All right.
So it was the first time that a president had gone overseas. So there's Teddy Roosevelt.
And he stayed at the Tivoli. Right on, man.
And it makes sense because Teddy Roosevelt was that kind of president. You know, he would buck the trend and do his thing, you know. So, all right, let's see here then. Why was the original Tivoli design changed?
That's a good one. I hope everybody remembered. It's a tough one for everybody, man.
So it was changed. Right. It was original design there.
Yeah, there was an original design.
And they said, hey,
the French actually designed it first. It was designed on the French. It was it was designed on the French style because they wanted to keep what the French had already done.
Okay.
And then just kind of carry it over with the American.
Okay, so let's see what the answers are, the options are here. It was 1, because the building was too big and costly. So they wanted to cut some costs down, okay? Remember, the zone was all about efficiency, right, and saving money. Yeah. Or number 2, Panama's government opposed the project.
Absolutely.
You know, there was some controversy about
right, because they had their own hotels at the time.
Yes, and that was a big deal. And you got to think about it. Certainly back then, where would you rather stay, at an American hotel or a Panamanian hotel?
And there weren't American. Panama, there were actually two or three hotels at the time. The Washington, the Aspen, and one more, I forget.
Was it number 3 then? The president was going to visit. Is that why they changed the plans?
I doubt it.
Or was it number 4? New architects wanted their designs. Well, you know, those architects, man. Listen, Art Vandelay.
I would be like, what? That sucks.
They say that Art Vandelay was quite finicky about his architecture. So.
Yeah, I would have changed that ASAP too, man. So what is it, guys? Let's see. Number 1.
Lee's also going with number 1.
Number 1. Yeah.
Chris is going with number 2. Okay.
Yes, they're all really good.
7 pilot there.
Number
Vern's
three.
going with
Yeah.
number 3. Okay. Dodd's doing number 1. Okay. Dodd and
All
Tiernan.
right.
So Dodd and Tiernan are working together. So that meant, hey, you
Whoa.
know what? Increase the odds of getting some hot sauce. Right on. I like that.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Why
All right. Tanya's going with number 1 here. Okay. Johnny McGee's going with number 3.
Number
Okay.
3.
Let's see that there. And then Rich is going with number 3 as well. And so number 3 is that the president was going to visit. Let's see if that, in fact, was the right answer.
Number 3 it is. And that's the truth, Willie. So, everything was going smooth. We had set of drawings and the French, that had done and plans ready to roll. And all of a sudden he gets a message. Back then it was like a telex.
Yeah.
That the freaking president was coming like in 12 or 14 months. And this was supposed to be like a 2.5 year project, right? It was supposed to look like the admin building, so to speak, right?
Right. And you're certainly not prioritizing construction of a hotel over Canal.
Right. So there was no rush. And all of a sudden he gets this message, hey, the guy's coming in. So he's like, let me look at those plans. F that shit, man. Threw that away, man. He's like, what do we have a whole bunch of materials of? We're like, well, we're building railroads. So we have wood. Wood it is.
Too funny. But he's like, the guy is coming. He's like, what guy?
Yeah, but
the guy.
Willie. And then what the design he chose to follow based on the material he had was the clubhouse. The clubhouse design.
There you go. Made sense.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that when the next
and it was built for comfort.
Up.
That's the thing. That style of design was built for comfort. And I mean, the president's
go there comfort, but a whole bunch of other things, Willie. Mostly because this is they were still designing at that time to combat yellow fever. Right. So that was still part of the design process.
Sure.
Right. That's what the verandas and all that stuff.
Style that it wouldn't be sweltering.
And the elevated floor so that the wind can go underneath. Yeah, the clubhouse is what brought all that in. All right, but there's more to that coming up in a few more questions.
Okay, Teddy Roosevelt though, man, he's showing up. You better.
He's showing up, man. Steven's like, hey, wow, man, we're going fast. And not only that, he didn't. We can't talk about that yet. I'll spoil it for the next question.
Yes, that's the thing. We got to be mindful because some of these do impact some other questions there. So be mindful. You got to remember what you were asked earlier. Because
it's going to pop up.
So all right, next question then. Why were Western and Oliver dump cars used primarily for hauling rock to the Gatun Dam instead of general spoil removal?
What is that general spoil?
So general spoil is basically the rock and dirt that you were just grabbing, Oh,
I see. Just whatever came up, like the fishing net, whatever comes up, comes up.
It's basically fill.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's what made up Balboa. That's what made up Amador. That's what made up a lot of those areas. But in Gatun, they use these Western and Oliver dump cars. And I don't know if you can see well on the image there, but they were the ones that the whole dump car would tilt over, right? They look like wagons. Okay. So what were the reasons why they were used for the Gatun Dam instead of general spoil? Was it one, they were designed for liquid dredging rather than dry excavation?
I remember you mentioned something about that.
They were four-sided and therefore incompatible with the Lidgerwood unloader. That's an interesting concept there.
That's complicated. When they're that complicated, that's normally the answer.
Right. The canals.
If I was in school, I would check that one right off the bat, man.
Yeah, the harder the answer, the more likely it is.
Yeah.
Number 3 was that the capacity was too small to be efficient for Culebra Cut.
Ah.
Okay. And then
the causeway,
4,
right?
Yes. Well, coming out of Culebra is where the spoil is coming from. Where it's going to is a different answer.
Yeah. Got you.
Number 4, the steel frames were too heavy for the Panama Railroad tracks.
Well, they had to change them.
So let's see
what
we're
Stevens
thinking
did
here, because that one was
these are all good.
Interesting.
You make it so hard. I make it easy.
Let's see here. So Vern's saying it was number 3, and number 3 again is the capacity was too small to be efficient for the Culebra Cut. Okay. Dodd Dupree is also saying number 3. Number 4, the steel frames were too. Hold on.
That's what I would go with too.
Too heavy for the Panama Railroad tracks. Interesting there.
Me too. Right on.
We have also number 2. They were four-sided and therefore incompatible with
That's a fighter pilot. Those guys are way too smart. So I'm changing to number 2, Leafy. Sorry.
He's jumping ship. Okay, Richard's going to go with number 3 then. Johnny McGee's going with number 4. The steel frame was too heavy.
I'm good friends with Johnny. I'm back to number 4.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Tanya, number 3. I'm number 3. No way, man. I'm
We're
going
going
number
to see
3.
if your theory, there's a theory that you just threw out there. We're going to see if it's right here on this one.
Whatever Tanya says. Number 2, beat day. I should have stayed there.
They were four-sided and therefore incompatible with the Lidgerwood unloader.
Tell you,
I'm going to leave it at that, okay?
It's complicated. It's
pay attention there, though. Okay, pay attention on that one because of what was thrown out there just now, because it may appear in a future question. Hint, hint. Look at Chris. Don't go with me, Ricky. Or better yet, do. Look at Tanya. Tanya's apologizing for giving you the wrong answer.
Don't worry, Tanya, man. We good. We always
give
win.
all the wrong answers you want.
We're just winning all the time with Tanya.
Heck yeah. All right, next question then. Here we go. Which construction choice was John Frank Stevens instrumental in persuading President Roosevelt to adopt?
Very good, Willie. These are all awesome.
This was cool, and this is
all based on our last month, shows. Yeah. So wow,
yep, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. And the cool thing about AI is you can, I had it create. I just uploaded a picture of Roosevelt, a picture of Stevens, and I said, put them sitting together over a map of Panama.
Well, that's probably what it looked like too. When they hung out.
So, but let's see here what your choices are here. Number 1, utilizing a canal with locks rather than a sea level canal.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Or number 2, building a sea level canal to minimize future maintenance.
Which is true, because they wouldn't have to build all those towns and all the all the things that have to support a population like that.
Suez has an entrance and an exit, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just a ditch.
And Stevens was baratito.
Yeah, right. It's all about cost and efficiency. Number 3, using only salvaged French equipment to save costs. Is that what he convinced Roosevelt to do? Or was it number 4, constructing the canal through the mountains of Nicaragua instead?
Well, they had already started and had all the surveying done. So, Stevens was probably going, man, this is crazy here. The mosquitoes, the heat.
Throw in the towel?
Throwing a towel, forget this spot. The Ancon Inn is killing all our guys.
Yeah. Something's killing them. Well, I think the general consensus here seems to be number 1.
Yeah,
Burns going number 1. Dupree's going with number 1. Yeah. Chris Jeffries is going with number 1. Okay,
yeah,
Lee, you're doing, yeah, number 1. So number 1 is, again, utilizing a canal with locks instead of a sea level canal. Obviously, we know now that was what happened. Is this what Stevens convinced him, or was this something that occurred afterwards? Right? Because
the first guy obviously didn't convince anybody.
Yeah. Listen, Wallace, we've talked about this before, that Wallace, Ricky asked a question once that, hey, has Wallace ever gotten like a big memorial or something in the zone? And the fact of the matter is, I don't remember a Wallace park or circle or monument or
there's William Wallace.
He got a movie named after his great uncle or something, but I don't know. And the truth is, of the 3 chief engineers, he probably was the least successful and probably viewed as the one that probably didn't. He did do a lot, but it was viewed as almost a failure in the sense that he was a bureaucrat. Okay,
the architects like him though. The architects like him, but
that's
about the only group.
I'll tell you what he did do is he helped jumpstart this canal in the sense that it was hard to get started with an operation when you didn't know what you were facing. And so it would be difficult to start ordering locomotives and excavators and all these things. Instead, he's like, wait a minute, man, we got a shit ton of equipment here from the French, man, and it's actually in really good shape. So it really allowed it to get started while they evaluated what it was they needed to do. Unfortunately, he was also, like I said, a big bureaucrat, and so he was okay with decisions taking place in Washington, which took weeks and weeks to make even the simplest decisions. And so ultimately he wasn't the man for the job. And as we know, Stevens came in and being a railroad guy, he figured out, hey, if we can't move this stuff efficiently, we can't build a canal. We're going to run out of money before we come even close to it. And so
absolutely
that's what that was. But anyway, let's see what the general consensus on this one then was as far as what the convincing piece was here. The obvious one, utilizing a canal with locks, because that's what we ended up with, okay? And that's what he convinced him that it was. And for us, thank God.
And it was more expensive, too, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
way
like Ricky
bigger of an
said,
effort.
there would be no need, all of the areas that we lived in was basically the suburbs, the housing for the canal operation, which was the dredging division, the locks divisions, and then, of course, all the supporting personnel of the ports divisions, right? And then you have pilots, and then you have tugboat, people. You have everything behind that. You have schools, you have hospitals, police, fire. You have to have entertainment. I mean, so it became the canal zone. You don't have that if you have a ditch, and you have just free reign going from...
Yeah, it'd be like the Egyptian deal.
Right. You'd
no
have a
towns,
small
nothing,
section in
just go
Balboa
through.
because you had to control the tides there, but that was it. Other than that, it was just a free running ditch, and there'd be none of us would be here if that was the case.
Look at it today, man. Wow,
Yeah.
with those ports and the
so
bridges and the
So well done, Stevens, and talking Teddy into doing a locks canal, man, because it gave us a canal zone. So well done, my man.
Well done, my man. Good meeting.
All right. So who was the architect of record for the Tivoli Hotel? Ricky, what's the whole story on the architect of record?
Well, at that time, this humongous efforts going on. So the Canal Zone was under the ICC was hiring the best architects of the time. They were all working there. All the top of the world were working there. And what was the question?
As far as what the architect of record, what does that mean?
Oh, who the architect of record? Okay, what does the architect of record mean? The guy who stamps the drawings, right? The guy that gets the recognition for the project, right?
Okay, the guy who puts his name on it officially.
The guy who puts his name in it. Was it P.O. Wright ICC Architects? Okay. ICC Architects are those Canal Zone architects.
Yeah, Canal Commission.
Felipe John Bonavia, by the way, was an architect. And remember, the French did design the original one.
Look at that.
Yeah, so he was an architect.
I didn't realize
Austin Lord. Austin Lord was a very famous architect.
Indeed.
Austin Lord actually designed Balboa Town.
Indeed.
Or was it Frederick Law Olmsted, another famous architect of the time? These guys are all working in the canal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So who do you think it is? And this one, again, we're getting a couple different answers here. Griso, no.
Griso. You know what? I'm related to that guy. Griso and I are cousins. Our mothers are first cousins. Yeah.
Tony used to tell me that too. So, okay, is it number one? Is it the
P.O. Wright?
P.O. Wright and ICC Architects. Is it number 4? The folks from Massachusetts. Leaf's going with number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, McGee's going with number 4. Okay, so he changes the answer.
All good.
Okay,
yeah,
Vern's going with number 3. And number 3 is number 3 is the New York. Oh yeah, Austin Lord.
He did most of the Canal Zone work, man.
Yeah.
He's the band.
Yeah. And so let's see who it is then. Who is our architect here?
You won't be disappointed either. Zonian Architects. But the truth is, it could have been anybody in that office. I think they had like 12 licensed architects working there. All he did was stamp the drawings, but it was a group effort. So really, like the guy that received the canal in the Canal Zone, remember, he was like a captain or a lieutenant.
Yeah, a lieutenant.
Right. Well, same thing with this guy. He was just like they probably had chosen another guy, Willie, and then that guy probably called in sick. They go, "Hey, Mr. Wright, come here, stamp this for us."
Had a dental appointment, man. He could have had his name.
And now he's in our history. But it was truly the Panama Canal or the Canal Zone government, but at that time was ICC Office of Architecture.
That's cool.
So it was all these Zonian architects working on it, and they actually, these are the guys that created that look. They created that genre.
Yeah. No, and we're gonna learn here.
We're gonna learn a little bit. Yeah. I almost got ahead of myself there. Sorry, Willie.
It's very special. Absolutely.
Yeah, but when I was studying this, Felipe John Banua Varia, he was actually an architect, on the project. So he actually designed a lot of stuff there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen, and real quick, we're gonna go back to a question that we mentioned a moment ago, and one of our crack. Assistant historians, Canal Zone historians, John Catanzaro says that Wallace had a tugboat named after him. Right on.
Oh,
okay.
Right on. Yeah, at least he got a tugboat. That's good.
Unfortunately, it sank a few days after it.
No, come on, Willie. I know. The fact that Willie said something nice about Wallace tonight, I'm almost in tears, man.
Yeah, right. I know.
Willie never gives that guy a break, man.
I know, man. I beat him up pretty
good. It was John, man.
He's like an Atlantic sider to me, It's like, no, I'm kidding.
And, that's so mean.
And now here's the other thing. So Leaf is thinking there may be a little conspiracy going on here, or some home field advantage somewhere. But Chris, what are you watching that you get the answer first? Okay, because remember,
Chris is sharp. He's a fighter pilot. Those guys go.
Exactly.
You know, they're quick reactors, man.
You know it, man. YouTube like you, Leaf. That's right. Yeah. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're trying to get to 500 subscriptions, and then our next goal is to try to get to 1,000. But
yeah, let's get to that 500. Help us out,
subscribe.
everybody. Get your nephews, your nieces, your sons, daughter, whomever, man. Just get them to hit that subscribe.
Everybody seems to get it first, and I'm on YouTube. Yeah, well, you got some fat thumbs there, man, or something, brother. You get to.
Nah, Leafy, you keep trying, Leafy. That's the only way to win, my friend. Must be a delay in Panama.
It could be.
Well, you know what? No, they got those. They got those top of the line fiber optics. We just talked about that. I doubt those guys are behind. If any, you know what? Actually, the soccer matches. Remember when we were all on the group chat? The Panamanian guys were always like, "Goal!" We're like, "What do you mean goal?" And then all of a sudden, goal, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're no kidding. Well, you know, suerte, baba, suerte. We need a Quantum Leap or a Star Trek segment for honor of God. Yes, we do, man. Kevin Gallagher, he was a good friend of ours, good Zonian friend of ours.
Yeah, for sure, the Gallagher family. Yeah,
way
those Rios.
You know, yeah, they've had it. That family's had it tough, man. But anyway, he probably is faster than us. He's probably close. That's what it is. Well, you know, and listen, Chris, like Ricky just said, Chris is a pilot, but he used to fly F-15s, man. This guy, he's
quick, man. This guy.
Come on, you've seen like Independence Day. Chris knows how that works, man. You know, he'll be, you know, he's not gonna be like the drunk guy flying up into the spaceship like that. But
you know what? He flies these big planes. I wonder if this guy's landing those planes thinking he's on a little jet.
I know, right? Thank God thank God he flies cargo, man.
Because if he swoops in, you know, and lands, you know. Oh my God.
If he was flying like for an airline, man, you know, half the people would be like, "Hey, thanks for getting us here so early." The other people would be like,
"Oh, you know what? I learned really about pilots, and Chris can correct us. When you land, there's two ways of landing. You either bounce a lot, right? Dun dun dun. You know what I'm talking about, or you come in really smooth. So one time I was on a flight, Willie, and this lady goes, "Oh, he must be a Navy pilot." And I was like, "What?" And people are asking, "Why did you say that?" Because Navy pilots are used to landing on decks, right? So they bounce. Where Air Force pilots have the long, you know, strips, so they know how to come in real smooth. So whenever you
Navy pilots, it's a controlled crash, is what it is.
Yeah. So whenever you feel like a rough landing, Navy pilot. Whenever you feel a real smooth landing, Air Force pilot.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because you gotta.
Well, Chris can tell if it's true or not, but this is what I experienced on a flight once.
Matt Flores, good to see you, brother. How's everything going, man?
Hey, Matt Flores, right on, man.
Yeah, it's the Milwaukee's Bees. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, Mickey. No problem. It's just how it is. That's right. It is. That's just the way it is, right? Isn't that what that tune was?
It is what it is.
All right. So next question here. Here we go then. And Chris says it's all true what we were just talking about there. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, cool. Right on. Yeah. That lady was right.
Yeah, and real quick, and I don't know if I asked you this once before or not, but did you ever fly the Mach Loop in the UK? The Mach Loop is an area where it's very famous. These hills that there's a like a canyon in between them, and a lot of military aircraft practice low altitude, low terrain follow and stuff through there. But it's real famous because a lot of photographers get up there, and you're actually a lot of times taking.
Oh, I've seen them. They fly right over. Yeah, right next to you.
Or even below you sometimes.
Or even below you. Right. I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I wish. Okay, now, yeah, that would be cool, man. I've always seen footage of that and thought, man, that would be an awesome flight to do. If you don't know it, it's called the Mach Loop, Machloop. The Mach Loop. It's in the UK. It's if I ever go to the UK, which I hopefully will go in and catch a United game one day, I'd like to take a drive down there and check that out because I think that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, nothing to do with the canal zone. Let's move on. So, what are we talking about here? During the American excavation of the Culebra Cut, what was the primary operational mechanism of the Lidgerwood unloader? We saw that earlier, which reportedly performed the work of over 5,000 men. Major productivity tool. Okay. Was it number one, a continuous steam-powered conveyor belt system integrated into the tracks? Interesting. Was it a series of hydraulic pistons that tilted the entire rail car assembly?
But it would have to be like this.
You would think, right? Yeah. Number three, was it a 3-ton steel plow pulled across flat cars by a cable winch?
I'm feeling that one.
Or was it number four, a compressed air spreader with adjustable steel wings?
Damn, that was good too.
It was the Lidgerwood unloader.
Right, which is the most difficult one?
So we got quite a few number threes that are.
One has the word continuous. That's pretty difficult. The other one has the word. Hydraulic. That's pretty
Right.
difficult.
Leaf is going with number 1, that continuous
All right.
steam-powered conveyor
That's what I
belt
was going
system.
with Leaf.
And you know what it's interesting that term conveyor belt, that's what a lot of people said, that the entire rail operation in the Culebra Cut was just one massive conveyor belt of nonstop moving dirt. You know, it just never, ever stopped until the sun went down. And then, which we found out a little bit, which we're going to really find out more about next month on our excavation, some really cool stuff about what happened at night in the Culebra Cut. Because let me tell you what, you know,
They didn't have lights, did they?
They had, I mean, limited. It wasn't a lot of electrical power.
Not like, stadium lights or anything like that.
No, nothing at all like that. But it was quite a bustling place, even at night. You know, it was 24 hours. There was things going on in the Culebra Cut. It's pretty amazing.
Willie, what were the towns close to Culebra Cut? Is it was Red Tank in that area or Empire?
Empire and Gorgona, I want to say we're near that. We're going to find that out. It's funny you mentioned that, because don't forget, guys, coming up after trivia, we have our Canal Zone mailbag.
I love that new segment. Yeah. We got some good stuff. Yep.
But anyway, so what we're getting here, we're getting number 1s, number 3s. So it seems to be that's the general consensus, either that continuous steam-powered conveyor or the 3-ton steel plow. So let's figure out what that is. What is that Lidgerwood unloader? It is a 3-ton steel plow. 3.
Wow,
that's right.
That's at least the ones I thought.
So remember, this is why they had, when we talked earlier about the cars, the Gordon and Owens or whatever they were going to Gatun, they had the 4 sides on them, okay? So anything inside the bucket there, this plow couldn't unload, right? So what they had here was those rail cars that only had the back wall up, the side walls and the front wall were not there. It was just the back wall, and in between each car, you had that steel plate that hinged down. And so in essence, from the first car to the 17th car, it was just one long platform full of dirt and rock. And what they would do is when they'd get to Balboa or to Amador, wherever it was they're going to drop it off, they would attach the last car. They would have a rail car that had this big 3-ton, 6,000-pound plow sitting on the back of it facing forward, and they'd attach a cable to it and run it all the way across all those trains, hook it up to that steam locomotive up front, turn it on, and it starts dragging that plow in, and it is just dumping all the dirt and rock off of that train. So what you would take hours to do was done in 10 minutes by just one person operating that steam loader and one person connecting the cable to it. And that was it.
So that cable would just spin around,
it would,
one way.
A big spool at the front of it would roll and pull that whole plow forward and drag it right across all of those cars and just push all the dirt off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing that. I wonder if there's a video of that somewhere. That'd be great to see.
There is some videos of it, and there's some photographs that you can see that explain how that's done. And the plow is set up to where it kind of angled to one side. Mm-hmm. So it only dumps to the left side. And it dumps everything off it. And then, of course, they spread it out, move the track, and then the next train comes in, dump, spread it out, move the track, and pretty soon you have Balboa. And it was all dirt and rock that came from Culebra, right? Where we ran around in Balboa was a swamp and a river, man. It was all swamp and river until they were able to get this entire mountain, cut it out, and dump it out there as dirt. Unbelievable operation these guys did. But anyhow, so there you go. That's your answer there, guys.
Good one. Good one. Tough though. But we're learning a lot about the dredging. You know, the dredging was never the popular kid in the block.
No. And it was so critical.
You know, he was like the rough kid.
Yes. And it turns out that the rough kid really is what kept it all going.
Even like in Snoopy, he was the guy that was always dirty.
Yeah, because even after it opened, they're like, hey, we won, success. And all of a sudden you come out the next day like, what the hell? And you had a big giant slide. Dredging got their asses out there and cleared that up to keep that canal open, man.
And they're still working it. They're still out there doing they got to do. They make it keep it humming.
Yep, absolutely.
Canal
All right,
trivia.
Let's go back to some architecture here. Why did Stevens order the clubhouse to be built?
Good one. Let's see if people this is a super good one.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, this was again part of that whole Canal Zone experience, and again, we're talking here post canal construction now, where we're looking at now the people that are going to be living and employed here in the Canal Zone. So was it number
Empire, Culebra, those towns?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and now you didn't have this whole grinding workday thing anymore. It was a different operation.
Yeah, Stephen was 1905, 1906, right? Yeah, 1905, 1906.
Yeah. So anyway, the number one here was to counter saloons, gambling halls, or naughty bars.
And naughty bars.
Was it to combat desertion and 50% attrition rates? That's amazing. Like Ricky said earlier, 1 out of every 2 people
left.
Gone.
1 year. Like, fuck this place, man. Too hot.
Or was it number 3
nothing.
for housing? Did they build, the clubhouse to be built for housing? Or was it 4, all of the above? What are we thinking here? Okay, we got a lot of number 1s here. Okay, we got a couple of, yeah. All right.
Number 1.
Okay, well, let's see what it is here.
All the above. Yes. Hey, I'll tell you, Willie, one of the reasons the French failed from all my research, this is not opinion, this is from research, was that the labor force had no, those guys were just at the Canal all night, and at the casinos all night.
Yeah.
And, so, they had to provide for the American workforce more than anything, the gold roll guys, right? The engineers and such, to keep them around. And they didn't want them hanging out over there. That's why they built the clubhouse, was to keep those guys from going there. So they provided them with, housing, movies, bowling out. We talked about it last week.
Fun.
But it was for the big reason of number 1 and number 2, because these guys would be that, or they would be bored. These are top engineers making, living good in America. These weren't,
Right. Making great money, as we learned.
Yeah, great top project managers, architects, engineers, excavators, you name it.
That whole concern was such a big issue that even back in 1908, I read about this the other day. It was interesting. For Labor Day, which is around the corner here, 1908, they had a big parade in Empire and a big party and everything set up. Goethals ordered from Sunday through Monday, or through Tuesday, actually, all the bars and liquor closed because they were losing productivity Monday because there was no work. It was a Labor Day. It was a holiday. And so they didn't want people showing up on Tuesday hungover, or maybe not make it because they were too hungover. So they said, to hell with it. You're not going to be drinking Sunday and Monday because we need you on Tuesday to work a little harder to make up for that shortfall from Monday's lack of work.
Right. And that's why the emphasis in entertainment and, the just the life we lived, it was by design, because otherwise they would lose all these people.
Certainly. And there wasn't
either back to the States or, to all the debauchery going on in
no
just
kidding,
across
man.
the street there in 4th of July Avenue.
But with a whole new perspective on my own. Yes, it sure does. It sure does, man. And listen, that was the case. You think about it. There wasn't much else to do in Panama at the time.
That's probably why they drank so much.
Right. That's my point. Is you get bored, and after a while you're like, well, let's just go drink, and we'll make up a game. We'll do something. And that's why those other 2 guys like, hey, let's walk across the zone in 12 hours. What do you mean walk? Nothing.
Yeah. That was a good story. That was last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
But that kind of was the mindset. There really wasn't much to do there, and so people came up with things to do, and unfortunately,
because there was no Tivoli either at that time, guys.
Right. And there was no radio stations. There was nothing. I mean, there was really nothing to entertain you. So, all right. Let's see. Which name for the Balboa Clubhouse was rejected
another good one,
by the Canal Zone community? This is an interesting one because, the Canal Zone at the end of the day was still a bureaucracy, and it was still a government bureaucracy. And
and then, of course, Panama was now growing up and competing, so, the word, the term clubhouse.
And the government's never been known to be great at marketing. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, the whole term clubhouse, even to us, doesn't mean anything, but at that time had an elite connotation to it.
Right. So what do we think it is? Was it number 1, the Canal Zone Clubhouse? Was it number 2, Employee Service Center? Well, that sounds entertaining. Was it number 3, Canal Employee Entertainment Building? Well, now that sounds government as hell. Okay, that sounds like something the government would come up with, Or number 4, was it the Gap?
And remember, the council committee said, F it, we're not going to call it that. And they stuck to the Balboa Clubhouse. So which one did they try to change it to?
Yeah, so what do we
Now, we know the Gap. The Gap it ended up being a teen hangout.
See, this
The
is
Blue
debauchery we're
Goose.
talking about.
Yes,
See,
that's
see,
one of the debauchery
you know,
spots.
And listen,
yeah.
we know the McGee's have a history in the canals.
No, they
Way
don't.
back
He
then,
just
so,
knows that there was a spot called the
yeah,
Blue
so,
Goose
Yeah, no, of course.
somewhere down there, and someone told him, but no, he
All
was
right,
never there.
Vern saying that it's
Number two?
Okay, the Employee Service Center.
Sounds like a gas
Leaf's
station.
going with that. McGee's going with that. Dupree's going with that.
yeah.
Chris is going with number 3.
These guys are two
Employee-
Zonians, man. Number
Yep.
3? Okay.
Well, remember,
Yeah, well,
Chris-
you know what? It makes sense because, yeah.
Hey, Chris was in the Air Force again, the government, you know, where they love their acronyms and large, crazy, senseless names. So that makes total sense there. Tanya's going to say it was number 1, the Canal Zone Clubhouse, which you think would make sense, you know, but I have a feeling that because it was rejected by Zonians, it probably isn't going to be that, but let's find out here.
But whatever Tanya says, I'm with her.
Right.
That's right, man.
The Employee Service Center, which again,
That's
sounds
what they were
lame.
going to try to call it. Can you imagine? Hey, I'm going to the Employee Service Center or the ESC, you know, whatever we would have ended up calling
How many
it.
of us are going after on Saturday night after a Rams game, going to the Employee Service Center? You know, I mean, come on.
And the Canal Zone crew was like, what? Get out of here, man. You know, Balboa Clubhouse all the way to the end, man. I love the Zonians, man. You can't mess around with us, man. Cannot. Sorry.
Thinking there.
Yeah. You're not going to push us over like that.
All right.
Oh, what
So
a
here's
beautiful
a
call.
question. And just so you know, Leaf, this is for you as well. It's the last question. And remember, speed does count. Okay? So
fingers
just letting
ready.
you know that here. But the question is, what type of architecture describes the Tivoli Hotel? And I purposely selected this picture because I think this picture really encompasses what this question means, right? Because you know, in architecture, there's obviously, as Ricky has taught us, there's different styles, different, you know, traditional styles that are recognized around the world. And one of those is the Canal Zone style. It's not called the Canal Zone style, of course, but as we were going to mention earlier, and then we didn't want to give it away as a clue, but the clubhouse and that type of design became a recognized architectural style that was 100% developed in the Canal Zone. And so I figured it was fitting to put this book in there, this book from Edith Barkowitz Crouch, which is Architecture of the Panama Canal Zone.
Excellent book. I mean, it's worth the money, guys.
Yeah, really, really is. And then I know that Ricky gets a lot of his information out of it, and I have a copy of it and look through it all the time. But it really is a great book to have. So I figured it was fitting that would be representative of this question here, because you know there is a type of architecture,
right? And the
describes
Zonians created it.
Yeah,
let's see if you guys can get the name right.
That's exactly it. And again, that's why the clubhouse was set up that way amongst a bunch of big concrete structures,
Willie.
because they were honoring that style that was truly unique to the Canal Zone.
Yes.
It really was, man. So anyway, let's figure these answers out and see what you think it is. Is it 1, French Art Nouveau? Is it 2, French Renaissance?
Remember, the French were there first.
Yeah, they were. They were very influential.
That's why
Number 3,
French.
was it early century American tropical movement? Or was it number 4, early 20th century American tropical architecture?
Ooh, sexy.
Well, look at this guy throwing a curveball at you there. And by the way, guys, don't complain to me on this one. This was a Ricky Royo question, 100% exclusive. So
this is a good
was-
one because
this
I'm
one was
so
designed to
proud
be
of it.
that
You know, I always wonder why the heck there are more Canal Zone architects. You know, there's only like very few of us, man.
Well, and you mentioned something interesting, Ricky, when we were first talking about this, especially having lived in Hawaii yourself, that you see a lot of that architecture there. And
same
it's recognized
exact
as that.
architecture.
It's effective in the tropics, right? And so it's
absolutely, man.
It's not just a look to it; it's a functionality.
Yes,
right?
It's got a little bit of Southern Colonial, but it's not Southern Colonial, guys.
Yep,
It's got a little bit of that Georgia plantation.
All right, let's see here. Tanya, so sorry I told again. Don't worry, that's what we do on this show half the time anyway. So we're all
we love you. You can guess all day long.
right on. So number 4, Chris is going with number 4. Let me see here. Dodd's going with number 3. Okay, so what are we thinking here? We're thinking. Well, I think it's safe bet that it's either going to be 3 or 4. Although Vern is going out on a limb.
Well, you know, because remember the French were there first.
They were,
and you know, and the Canal and the Americans tried to continue what the French were doing.
They did.
I mean, the YMCA is a great example of that. That's totally French Nouveau.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, well, let's see which one it is. And again, this is the last answer, so we're going to find out who the winner of that 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce is. Here we go, guys.
That is correct. God, what a pride and joy, guys. Anytime you hear early 20th century American tropical architecture, which is all over the Caribbean and the Pacific Islands,
all right,
know that is Zonian DNA.
Yeah. Created
That's
in the zone,
right.
Developed in the zone for effectiveness, keeping you comfortable while protecting you from the elements and obviously the diseases.
The verandas and the roofs and everything that the clubhouse and the Tivoli buildings are.
Okay, all right, folks. So are we ready to see who the winner is? Fingers crossed that it's going to work. I'm gonna go on another limb here and see what it does, but let's do it. Let's find out here. All right.
Don Dupree, right on.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, well, Chris with the right there on it. Oh, fastest was Vern.
That's exactly it. Well, no,
we need to get a second gift. Oh, you know what? We do have a second gift.
Yes,
I was gifted this as from Jennifer Dahl Hayward.
Yeah.
And this can definitely be a Canal Zone. I mean, a trivia gift, and I appreciate it very much. It's the sea beers. I don't know how, if it because it's green. If it looked good, but if you guys remember in the Canal Zone, the CB clubs, they're called the C beers. Oh no, they're called the sidebanders.
Yes,
the sidebanders. Well, Jennifer was kind enough to send me and Willie one each, and you guys are so good to us. We're gonna include it in for the set for the fastest, and it actually you can see it says Canal Zone. I don't know if you can see it, but in the bottom it says Canal Zone.
By the way, I have some little magnets that are coming to me.
Ismanian.
The Isthmian Sidebanders Isthmian Sidebanders Club Canal Zone.
So that'll be the price for the fastest.
Right on. And
all right, we'll send that to you ASAP.
What they're showing here is when you see that where it says fastest is in the event that there's a tie.
Correct.
Right? So,
but still, we need to reward the fastest because that's an effort.
But no, listen. So in the first one, right, it's a tie between Dodd and Chris. They both got 9 points.
Oh.
But Dodd was the fastest, so he wins out. That's what that's differentiating, right? So, but yeah, listen, if you want to give more.
Oh, I see. Vern. Oh, shucks. Well, I already said I was going to send it to Vern. So, Vern, guess what? You get an award. Well, we might as well send to Chris as well. First 3 get an award. That's just the way we're going to roll.
Well, you know what? I'm probably going to
2 patches and the first guy, Dog, gets the.
I actually have.
La pendeja esta, what do you call it? The sauces. Hey, I'm not drinking ever again on these shows, Willie. Listen, me olvida todo, man. No way. I'm going back to coffee.
He starts drinking. He comes in Wallace.
Man, I pounded 2 beers on this show.
That's funny. No, and you know what? I'll take care of Vern because I'm gonna see him probably in Minnesota here in another month or so. So,
all right. Hey, listen, that's a lot of people that participated. We are really grateful.
That was fun, man. It was a lot of
fun, and we get to revisit everything we talked about. And guys, you guys are awesome. How you remember all this? Because it is a lot of history. I mean, like I said, all you guys are going to have a master's degree in history when we're done with this show.
Without a doubt. Absolutely. Yeah. So congrats, Dodd, on your 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce. Definitely.
Dupree.
I'm good. I already won a 4-pack. That's right. Chris was our winner last trivia. That's right.
Chris, man. Chris is good.
Cut Ricky off. I know, man. We got to do that. What's his name? What was the name of the yacht? What was the guy?
That's it, man. Shorty at the VFW, man.
Get him out of here.
Go play with that little duck game. You've had enough. Eat some chili. Remember the chili at the VFW, guys? Wow, that was delicious,
no doubt, man. Absolutely, that was fantastic. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We figure out get to check out that Bucyrus steam shovel. I'm really looking forward to that. So it's
what a great show, Willie. Again, I knew it was going to be. I knew this was going to be fun. I always have a lot of fun on this one. Ricky, you're lightweight. I know, man. I'm total lightweight.
But Leaf, listen, Leaf, we're not 25 years old anymore, brother. I mean, come on now. No,
I'm a 2-beer guy. That's all I'm allowed.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, that was cool. That was a lot of fun. And I've got next week I should be getting them. I work with a couple different companies on some apparel stuff, and I was getting some samples. And
Willie's working with Lowe's.
Well, check this out. Well, yeah, that's
big time, big time. Willie.
What it is, it's a training. Lowe's is switching to a new cash register system, and so I landed a project training Lowe's people for a year. It's just a couple days of the week that I do it, but it's at 4:00 in the morning, man. I gotta get these guys into a store and show them how to work these machines, and then move on to the next, and whatever.
4 a.m. Wow,
it's crazy, but no, I don't even know how I got into that. But no, what I did was talking about is, I'm getting 10 sample 2x2 magnets like you put on a refrigerator or whatever, and they're the original to Jimmy from the Canal Zone. Zony guy,
awesome.
Doing the finger, man. So if you want one, let me know. I'll send some out, or we'll do something to give them away and send those out. But that's going to be something we are going to carry on
our viewers that are not from the Canal Zone. What you're seeing is when Jimmy Carter came to the Canal Zone, when the treaties were going on, the Canal community obviously didn't want to give the canal away, so they adversed Jimmy Carter. So when he came, somebody, I wish I knew who it was, designed these T-shirts.
Yeah.
And our little Zony guy was on it, flipping off Carter. Yes. And it became iconic amongst the Canal community. Yeah. Till today, everybody identifies with it, but that's where that comes from.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It really is a big part of the zone. I'm trying to find that image because I do have it.
We have the original. We do have not the original, but we have like the early one, the one that first came out, and it has been modified since.
Well, I've upscaled it a lot because it. Hold on, where is it?
Every kid in the Canal Zone had that T-shirt. Every single one of us. Yeah. So we need to find out if anybody out there knows who the designer was. We would love to know.
Nathat would be a cool one to find out about because whoever did that was it
was awesome. And you know what, Willie too, the one company that has the two little feet. ¿Cómo es la vaina esa?
Oh, Hang 10.
Hang 10, Zonian.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Zonian company. Yeah, it is. Where is that? Okay.
I love those shirts, man. They sold them all over the commissary. Remember, we all as kids had them. Hang 10 was Zonian, by the way.
Hang 10 it really was. Hold on, I've got that picture somewhere here.
12 Balboas in. Wow, man, that's a lot. Well, if you can handle it, you can handle it.
Yeah, no, hey, campeón mundial de los peso welter. I mean, what are you going to do? It's Lifoncio. Okay.
Lifoncio.
Right. Here it is. This is the image right here.
Leafy Tanya lived between Leafy and I. So it was us, the Royos, the Pujols, and then the Solines.
Is it on? Is it on the screen? Did it?
There it is. Yes, you got him on. That was what the T-shirts looked like.
Yeah.
To Jimmy from the Canal Zone.
Yeah, there it is.
Saca el leaf para que se vea más clarito.
Yep, to Jimmy from the Canal Zone. That's the original there. I've upscaled it and put a little bit of white on the eyes and the teeth and everything, but that was the T-shirt. That was the famous T-shirt, and that's where we got our little mascot here, Zony, from.
Yeah,
as well.
We love him. We call him Zony.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I've got some magnets coming out, little ones like that. So, if you want one, let me know, and we'll definitely get them out to you guys. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. A lot of cool trivia there.
Everybody did very good.
And it was, and of course, congrats, Dodd. I will get that out to you. Dodd's here locally, so I can just run into him here, or send me your address, and I'll get them sent out to you from Amazon. They'll just deliver them right to your house, which is probably the more convenient way of doing it. But anyway, so real quick then, guys, let's go ahead and kick off then our Canal Zone mailbag. Okay, this is a lot of fun what we've been doing here. We just started it last week. Get a lot of questions from people that are interesting things to talk about, but maybe they're not enough to warrant a full segment or a full show, but there's still things that people are like, wow, I didn't know that, or I thought about that.
Good to know, yeah.
Exactly, good to know. So we came up with this, Canal Zone mailbag where you send something in, and we'll go over 2 questions every week, and then we'll give you the answer the following week. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick that off real quick, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up here. we go. A little Canal Zone post office nostalgia there. That's the one thing that I always try and do with this show is always be nostalgic about it, right? Bring back some Canal Zone and just something as simple as that. But that was cool, especially when you're a little kid, right? When you first learned what the combination was to the mailbox, and you go with your parents to the post, you want to run in there and open it, and you fight with your brother no, I want to open it,
I mean, I remember the number, but I don't really remember the combination.
I don't either. I remember the number. Mine was 2996.
434 for me, man.
That's cool, man. So, but yeah,
that right across from that side door into that air conditioned area.
Oh, okay. So mine was, I think, behind that. You go in that one
in the middle, in the middle.
Yeah,
there's like
in the
a
middle
there.
Yeah. So, so anyhow, last week we had a couple of questions here, right? The first question was from Eric Anstos, who's a big fan of the show. And Eric, thank you so much for always, being involved with the show and taking care of us. And he actually was the one that kicked off or kind of triggered this idea, because he's messaged me quite a few times with some questions, say, hey, this would be a really cool thing to talk about on the show. And like I said, we realized, hey, there's a lot of that there. And I mean, this show really is all about that reminiscing. Remember we had that guy last week on that was, that had just kind of chimed in that he worked on the shrimp boats.
Oh, from San Diego. Right on. Yeah, that was cool, man.
And so he was enjoying just listening to, some of this Canal Zone banter, and because his version of the Canal Zone was showing up in Balboa and then, seeing the Yacht Club and a couple of those things, but probably for a couple of days and then back on a boat and off they go again, right? But he did it.
And we remember those guys because they were always at the Yacht Club, and we would see them at the bottom, the lower bar. You'd always see those guys there.
No kidding. So, but anyway, so again, Eric is the one that did that. And so we wanted to use that first question of his, which was, who can be buried in the Corozal Cemetery?
That's a good question.
Can you cover that on a podcast? And so we thought, what a great question. And so we did some research on that, to figure out exactly, who can be buried there, because it is something that's special, right? It's unique and it's got some significance to it. So here's what we found out for you, Eric. Eligibility for burial in the canal is for Panama Canal and military personnel. Okay. U.S. military and veterans are able to stay there. Also, the Panama Canal workforce. If you work for the canal, civilians who contracted, operated, or secured the canal, including medical research volunteers. You guys were all eligible.
Like Smithsonian.
Yes, exactly.
So we can be buried there, Willie.
Right. Exactly.
Right on, man. That's good to know. This is really good to know.
Spouses, minor children, and permanently disabled adult children of eligible citizens.
Remember, that's U.S. territory, by the way.
Right. And yes, exactly. Very good point. And also, mandatory requirements and benefits. Provide proof of service, obviously. Military Form DD-214 or NGB Form 22. Honorable discharge. Civilian service, official agency records, or sworn affidavits. Vital statistics, the Office of Vital Statistics. You can pull your stuff there. Marriage certificate, birth certificates, death certificates, etc. This is really cool. Zero cost for a plot and care. Okay?
Yeah,
this is
we
all
need to
taken care of, in perpetuity.
We need to revisit this so all of us can get our paperwork.
Yeah, exactly.
In line. So if you want to be buried there, at least we'll have our paperwork ready. Good one, Willie. Good.
Now,
Eric. Thanks a lot.
Just in case though, don't go through all this effort and then find out you can't be buried there, because if you had a criminal conviction, is denied to those convicted of federal, state, capital crime,
Zonians?
or sex
Come
offenses.
on, we're angels.
Well, no, there was, and it's. My dad had told me about a couple stories. And there was one that probably many of you remember was a horrific murder in the zone. It was one of the maids in Balboa.
Oh yeah, the Andersons. Yeah.
At the Andersons, right? And that guy was military. He was in the army.
Yeah, so and
that wasn't his only killing, unfortunately. But they caught him and they convicted him. They caught him and he
DeLuca, right? DeLuca was the one that caught him.
I think he did. My dad had played a role in that one as well. They had to
they beat the shit out of him too, and they found him, man.
Well, they had another incident. I'm not even going to talk about it. Where they
sorry with that nasty word. But you know what? What else are you going to identify a freaking murder?
I'll tell you the one that I do want to, and we got to get my dad on for. Do you remember the bombings in the zone?
Yes, I do.
My dad was involved in that big time, front and center. My dad is the one that flew up to the FBI in Washington with some of the parts and stuff to get their involvement and help in that.
Frank Pereira and I were coming out of the commissary when that thing blew up.
Yeah, that's
right there by the ramp on the side. We were going down those stairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the other one that is a service characterization, anyone with a dishonorable discharge or convictions for subversive activities is ineligible. Okay.
Well, none of us are going to be in that list.
So
Zonian kids were all good. I'll vouch for everybody.
Excludes divorced spouses and estates that accepted a VA commemorative plaque. So if you got a VA commemorative plaque already, sorry, you're out of luck. You can't get both of them. But anyhow, so that's what the eligibility for that Corozal burial is. Okay, so the other one we want to look at then that was sent to us last week was from our friend Jim Nom, and it was a great question regarding the tunnels in Corey Heights and up there in that Ancon Hill. How far down and out does the tunnel system in Corey Heights go? We didn't have enough room to put the whole question on there, but he finished with urban legend is when I was in high school that the tunnels went all the way out to Amador. Okay, so Bill McLaughlin chimed in a little bit last night or last week and mentioned that, and we kind of had made that supposition as well that the way that whole Balboa area was built, it was all spoiled and stuff, that it probably wasn't conducive to have a tunnel underneath it, running underneath all that stuff. So it's very unlikely. But again, our crack research team was able to do some interesting research on this. And what we found out was that they did have quite the operation there. It really was a series of tunnels and some really impressive things that I found out here about it. Okay. From the entrance up at the top there to the bottom of it, the depth is 200 feet. So it goes down.
That's 20 stories.
Right? Okay. It has 40 individual rooms and warehouses on the first 4 floors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And kind of think of the opposite of a hotel where it goes first floor up to second, up to third, whatever. It's mezzanine, then down to the first floor, down to the second, and down to the third, and down to the fourth. Check this out. I didn't even know this was a thing, but at the bottom below that, then they have an independent water-driven generator. I never knew there was such a thing. You can make power out of water. They got decontamination chambers.
Japanese are working on that to make cars out of that. So
that's incredible, man. But
you're talking about the Canal Zone was using that already.
Right?
Yeah,
this was built in World War II, guys. Okay, understand that. This was built a long time ago. They have an industrial-sized Clackfield document shredder. That might be a misprint there, but massive document shredders there, which that kind of goes hand in hand with
where all the
government
secrets
facilities,
are, yeah.
Right? They got 3-foot thick reinforced concrete walls.
8 feet. Wow.
I mean, that's, Now, here's some really interesting things about this. We've heard before, especially all of us that grew up during the Cold War, right? We've heard the term EMP, right? Electromagnetic pulse, and how that fries all electronics. Well, they have something here called a Faraday cage. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And what they do is they embed steel rebar, a matrix of it, throughout all the concrete around it. And that blocks all cellular, radio, and satellite signals. And it protects against EMPs, which is very interesting. Again, it is a subterranean fortress there, 100% autonomous, independent water-driven generators, decontamination, industrial-sized shredders. And I would imagine they have stockpiles of food and whatnot is there as well. And then here was some interesting facts I found out about this. It was built during World War II. In 1989, it was used as the hub for coordinating the invasion to get Noriega.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what the interesting paradox they threw in there. Noriega once used that bunker for intelligence meetings before becoming the invasion's primary target. So isn't that ironic that he was in there, he studied this place, and they turned around and used it to nab
after him, yeah.
Right? So what's become of it? So now Panama has remodeled this into a national crisis and emergency operations center. They sunk in $500,000 and updated it all. I imagine they probably put, like you've talked about, the fiber optics and the computers and everything else in there. But, if you have a big major natural disaster, now there's a place where the government can function and continue doing their thing. So, so that was
like
pretty
the
cool.
Situation room or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great way. Situation room, indeed. So good question there, Jim. And now we know the rest of the story is, as Paul Harvey would say.
Yeah, you can't even get to Corey Heights now. That's very restrictive area.
Yeah, correct. Powder from power from water, like hydro. That's what I don't understand. I'd like to look into that more and to see what they're really talking about there, because obviously inside there you would need some mechanism to move the water to.
Well,
then
there's those hydraulic cars that are starting to talk about.
Yeah,
it's got to be something similar to that.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to find out about. And yes, underneath Ancon Hill, they're 200 feet down, man. There's a whole thing, and it's been around forever. That's the amazing
story
part
is
about
10
it.
feet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
20
no
story.
doubt.
That's a big building.
Yeah. So what is the complex being used for today? And yeah, like we said, they're modern. It's a National Crisis and Emergency Operations Center. So very, very cool. Now, let's look at a couple of questions that we've gotten since then, because again, guys, send in your questions and we'd love to hear about them, because there's a lot of really cool things about the zone. And certainly I don't think we could spend an entire segment talking about this facility here, but it was some cool information to learn about, right? We stared at that hill every day for a big portion of our lives, for most of us. And little we know that they had a lot of stuff going on in there, man. It was pretty interesting. So,
well, we kind of like Jim said, there was a legend, urban legend. So me too. I heard about that from when I was growing up.
Right,
all these secret tunnels and whatnot.
Correct. And like everything else, you often is it true? Is it real? Is it not? And
like that Tule Vieja, we just believe it.
yeah, La Tule Vieja, exactly. There you go. All right, so this week, what we're gonna have our hands full trying to figure out. Mike Jorgensen, not familiar with Mike Jorgensen, but thank you for chiming in. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
We're getting a lot
yes.
more of this, guys. A lot of people that are, even not from the zone, but they're taking that.
Well, you know what? That's what the subscription does. When you guys subscribe, it goes out to more people, and so we push that.
So the question here is: I heard there was a zoo at Fort Sherman. Is this true?
Good one. I never heard of that. But
so I did, I try and sign up with a lot of the Zonian channels just to stay in the loop on things, and then to keep people informed of things going on with the show. And I did, I have seen postings in some of the military pages that we have regarding Fort Sherman and that zoo. Fort Sherman, their main thing there was the jungle warfare school. Mm-hmm. Right, and so
that makes sense. Then, you have to know what kind of animals are out there.
Yep, part of that would be to to understand that and learn about those animals and survive amongst them, or maybe which ones you can eat, which ones you can't. I remember going through Air Sea Survival School in the Navy, and we ended up catching a snake to eat. Because that's the only thing, you get hungry, man. You get a stick of beef jerky for
well, yeah, we watch the shows, those Survivor shows. Those guys eat anything.
They do, absolutely. So, but so we're gonna find out, Mike Jorgensen. We're gonna find out the story about the zoo in Fort Sherman. And
I would say yes. That would be Mike.
I would think so.
I
would think so. We're gonna find out what the extent of that is, though.
Yeah, we'll do our research for next week.
But great question. And then here's a question from our friend Don Stock. Don Stock has been on our show before. He's an author. He wrote a book about Just Cause. And so we might have him on in December again when we revisit that. But he's asking here, which was the first Canal Zone employees' housing area and where was it located?
Good question.
Yeah, Ricky, that piggybacks off of what you were mentioning earlier, right?
Yeah. So, it has to be one of those, it would have to be one of those early towns,
Like what is it, Red Bank or Gorgona?
Yeah, Red Tank
Empire?
or Gorgona, one of those, I would say. That's we'll look it up. We'll have the answer next week.
Oh, for sure, man.
Thanks, Don, for the question.
But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's fun to answer some of these questions that we don't know some things about, and they're definitely interesting things to learn about if you want to learn Canal Zone history.
More.
But again, they may not be long enough to get a full segment out of it. So I think this is a great way to get some of those questions answered. And here, Vern's going to chime in a little bit and say, yes, there was a small zoo set up by the Jungle Warfare Group. I remember seeing it while in, okay, right on. There you go. So we're going to get some details on that and answer it and get a good answer on that, try and get a little inventory there and find out what they have going on. And I know that they're getting ready to restart a lot of that stuff. We've heard in the news in recent months.
That stuff is already going on. Well, they got the big Panamax war games soon, if not this weekend, next weekend.
Correct.
They're all there, but that's been going on since we lived there. Panamax, all these countries are there to protect the canal.
Yeah,
when that time comes.
So, so anyway, guys, get your questions in. You can go to the Facebook, the SCN Canal Zone page, and chime in on there. I'll throw this a clip from this segment into the Facebook, and if you guys want to just chime in there and throw some comments. But there's a lot of fun things to learn about the zone, small little things that I think this is going to really bring to light. So thanks these guys for chiming in and
everybody, man.
Eric
awesome.
earlier and last week, and Jim Nom, thanks for that question as well. But anyhow, listen, hey, great show, man. It was fun. Congrats to Dodd Dupree on winning that 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce. That was really cool.
And everybody, thanks for listening. You guys did really awesome, man, answering all these questions. Willie and I think that maybe you guys will forget. That's why we love this. But man, not you guys. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, Steve Ransom. He was on
appreciate
our show.
it,
Remember,
man.
Steve Ransom was our mass media teacher and English teacher at BHS, and he also worked at SCN. That was one of his side gigs, I guess you could say, as part of his reserve duty and stuff. But he made it to our reunion here at 86 reunion.
Right on.
It was great to see him, man. So, next week, guys, beginning of the month, Dave Dahlstrom's going to be joining us. He might have a special guest. We're trying to confirm it though, but he's going to be talking about the Balboa Theater and that.
And Willie, I'll keep working on Pablo Prieto to come on our show. Let us know what it's like to be Pablo Prieto.
Did get a semi-confirmation. I'm going to go on a limb and say with our
that's a tough one, but man, you pull that off, Willie.
Yeah,
you're the man.
Going to join us. That's going to be really cool. So
the Panama Canal administrator on our show, guys.
Got it. Canals on forever, indeed. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great show, a great win for you, Dodd. Well done.
Right on, Dodd.
Vern,
our little chiva.
Yep.
Hey, listen, guys, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Truly, we mean it when we say we love you. We love the show. We love you guys accompanying us. We love everything about this. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Salud, everybody.